Good day, friends. We are here. We are live.
We look a lot better. How's the sound today? Is this a lot better?
I feel like it's better to me, but now I have an echo. You guys,
Uh
no, there we go. It was on my side. We're good. I think we're
oh.
good.
Yay!
How do we
Sponsored by
sound?
V.
Yeah, V got Rode microphones for everybody. How do we sound, fam? We sound good, better than usual.
I wish I could beatbox right now. I feel like that would be appropriate, but
I
that's not a
know.
it's not a talent, that I have.
Uh, if only it was. I mean, if only
No,
it was.
I went to high school with this girl. Her name, I still remember her, Ashley Moyer, and she was like, I think she was like the beatbox queen or something like that. Like she got big in it, and oh my god, she was amazing.
She got big in beatbox. I freaking love that.
Yeah.
It's
And I
the
still remember
90s.
her name to this day because of that. We'd be at like house parties and you just hear this like amazing thing coming on, and there'd be like her and like two guys, and they just couldn't keep up with it. She was amazing. Anyway, a
Oh
shout
my
out to
God.
Ashley Moyer, who went to Taylor Middle School and
Good job,
Siebel High School.
Ashley Moyer. We
You
love
are
to see it. I
amazing.
love I love when we use people's first and last names. Like I am
Yeah.
such a first and last name person when I talk about somebody from like my past. I'm like, Heather Damerad, I hope you're listening.
Well, it's very important. It's
Yeah,
a very it's an important thing.
I know. Well, we have like an actually kind of crazy show. So I'm going to start with a little TW for today because this whole show on Friday, today's whole show is going to involve domestic violence and rape and child abuse and horrible things because unfortunately, that's the topic that we're covering today. We have a guest coming later, Gnomes from Trust
Hopefully, she
Me.
had to check with her
Hopefully.
Netflix rep. So I did
Okay.
message her. She opened it, all that good stuff. So we're just fine because everything that's going on with Netflix right now, she has to kind of check in before they can,
If she
commit to anything. So
comes,
I'm waiting
great.
to hear
If
from her.
she, yeah. If she comes, great. If she doesn't, like, also totally understandable that she's under an immense amount of pressure. But we're going to be talking about a lot of things that are in that vein. So if that's not, your
Mm-hmm.
guys' thing for today, totally, step away. We'll be back on Monday with your regular news. But today's going to be a little bit more of a difficult show in that way. But I think it's important that we talk about this stuff because it's happening. So,
Well, and do you feel like right now with the news cycle? I don't know if have you seen V for Vendetta?
no, not yet.
Oh, you need to see. I have a tattoo of it and everything.
Look at that.
So it was a graphic novel, and it's based on kind of the unraveling of society. And like in the graphic novel, we're called Aserica, and we're basically a leper colony.
Mm,
And the news cycle, they say in the movie, they're like, oh well, we're just gonna hit him and hit him and hit him with all of this bad stuff. And that's where the news cycle sounds like so much of it now revolves around these subjects. And it's not that it's happening anymore, I hope. But it's one of those things where we're just hearing so much about it. It's like, Jesus Christ, man.
I know. Well, and coming off of the Swalwell allegations that were just horrific and continue to get worse, it was
Mm,
kind of, I think sometimes, there's that phenomenon that happens that when you're looking at something, you tend to notice it in all the other places too. And I think because we've been
yeah.
following Swalwell for like 2 weeks, now I've just noticed it friggin' everywhere, all over the place.
Have you seen all these
Before
videos coming out of him?
of him, yes. Well, see,
I saw when he like grabbed this girl's face. I was like, oh my,
mhm.
like, Jesus.
I have a friendship with Megan McCain, which I think people find very interesting. And I also find it interesting. And she sent me the video first. And she was like, just so you know, if this hadn't come out from Miss Frazzled and from the Democrat leadership, like this is what the Republicans were planning to release if he were to become the winner of the primary. Like there was so much more on him that would have just come out later. And that video was one of them because, and I think we'll see this coming into this week, she suspects that the other man in the video, to her, it looks a lot like Ruben Gallego.
Hmm. What's that? See, here's my thing is, I guess, my like question face about that, which we've captured very well in the promo pic also,
Mm-hmm.
is what is the strategy? Like, I mean, I guess that's just basically what everyone's doing now in letting them win and then releasing it. Like, where's the strategy? I feel like it is a preemptive action because it's a whole lot harder to get rid of them once they're in
Mm-hmm.
rather than making sure they never get there. So that's kind of what I think is interesting about that. Like, what strategy is in that?
I just think it's like the old school establishment people who think that they're playing by the rules the way that they've always been, which is that DC runs on this gentleman's handshake and this boys will be boys kind of bullshit. And it's just
Yeah.
not. And Republicans are running it like genuine opposition, like a strategized game. Well, we'll release this information we have about Swalwell after he wins the primary because that will make him easy to beat. The Republicans aren't going to do it before the primary because then they would know. So it's good that the Democrats, were reluctantly able to get ahead of it, but it's not getting any better. And now that it's like the dam breaks, when one comes out, then more people feel comfortable to come out about what happened with them. And Tara Palmieri's been doing some really good reporting on this also, saying that just because Swalwell is out and even Tony Gonzalez is out, this is not the end of it. These people live like frat dormitories in DC because, for folks who don't know, you have to pay for your own accommodations when you're a congressperson or a senator to go to DC as much as you have to be there. So a lot of times, a lot of people don't know how it works over there. Now, a lot of times the senators or congresspeople are fairly wealthy, or you use part of your $174,000 salary, but living in DC is really expensive now. It's not like it used to be when it was cheap to stay there. And so they have these sort of like dorms, and they have like roommates. So like Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger were roommates before they became governors of Virginia. And
I just had like this picture of these, like, see, that's where you run into an issue too, though, is because it's like, it's much like the legal field, like any other field. Do you ever really have impartial people? Because there's just this thing where to keep a level of, I don't know, to keep yourself, for me anyway, to keep myself from bending to somebody, I have to keep a level of distance. Like, I can't go have lunch with you. I can't kick it with you. I can't let this be to the side or whatever, because that's where you end up. You don't make decisions after a while based on what's best. You make them based on who you know. And I think that's a huge problem with what we're facing right now.
So that's part of the deal, because while you have Mikey Sherrill and Abigail Spanberger being roommates, and that was probably cute and adorable and so much fun. And I bet they had like great Chardonnay pizza nights every so often and talked about like, the matriarchy taking over the local government. You also have Ruben Gallego and Jimmy Gomez and Eric Swalwell living together. Yeah. And that's going to turn into, that's where I say there's no way that you couldn't have known Ruben. You like live with this guy in a flop house.
You were like there. Yeah.
You were there, man.
And also, I always find when it's with them, like, it's not only that they didn't really know, they were probably participating, let's be real.
And they all go to the same bars. They all go to the old Ebbett Grill or Hamilton's or wherever. They're all going the same places, doing the same stuff. Now there's a new social club in DC. It's called Ned's Place. It's kind of like a Soho house for DC. I think that's going to end up being a pretty dangerous place. But one of my friends is a publicist, and she's a member there because obviously she's a publicist. So she has to like check in there and see what's going on and bring people there. And so every time I'm in DC, I'm like, can we go to Ned's? Because I just want to like see what they're doing in these like creep ass elite spaces.
And just, like, collect.
Yes, but I look so obvious that like people are like, oh, V from under the desk is here. I'm gonna like go hide in the other room or something. But yeah, but it's freaky. Like, so that's what's happening. Yeah, and
you can people watch and you can listen and whatever. That is the one thing to be said for anonymity, especially when you're like operating in those areas. Like it sucks once people know who you are, because you're just like.
Now they know. Right. And I'm in there with like a publicist and Tara and Sammy. They're like, oh, the gossip girls are here. We're not going to like, we're
right. Like, you guys behave. You have wives.
Like,
at
this
home.
Is a private club. Okay. People are supposed to be able to kick back here and be honest. And I'm like, yeah, please show me who you are. That doesn't mean anything to me when I leave this.
Right. Exactly. I don't know if I was in that level of public, I don't know, view as they are these days, I sure as hell wouldn't want to go to a bar. But you have to, because you have to do all the networking.
Do all the social networking.
You have to, you know what I mean?
Every night you see there's a cocktail party.
I suck at networking. That is not my thing. Like, let's have a real conversation. Like, did your mom love you? What was that about? You know what I mean? I don't care that you were like, with the influencer like events and stuff, they're hard for me because everybody, especially when you're in LA, because everybody kind of leads with that, like, so what was the last show you booked? And I'm like,
my own. No, I am the person who will end up like, if you talk to me at one of these events, that's it. It's me and you locked in forever. And we're going to talk about like our dead brothers. Maybe we're going to talk about, did your mom love you? And it'll happen fast. You can't say hello to me because we will be in deep therapy within the first couple of minutes.
At this point.
Absolutely. I know no other way to do it. And and that's probably why I don't go to these things, because I'll make it weird for you. But another politician kind of making it weird right now is Cory Booker is out on his book tour, or as they call him, Cory Book Tour. And he does a lot of good. He does a lot of bad. He's like a 50-50, if he's on the right side of the day every day. But he wrote a letter to David Ellison, who owns Skydance Paramount, and asked him to come and testify for Congress, since Congress has say over the mergers, especially of this size, and the Ellison boys trying to put Paramount and Warner Brothers together. And Ellison said, no, I just can't make it out to DC. Well, he lied, and he got caught in a lie, because the Ellison boy is actually going to be in DC this week and next week, because he's planned a dinner to flatter Trump, and Booker found out about it. And so he was like, see, you're having a dinner on the White House public schedule. Why don't you come on down to Congress and talk about that merger you want to do? And that's where I like Booker sometimes. I'm like, he gets in there, we found out.
See, here's my thing though, is that like, how are we getting beat by the dumbest mother truckers in the what? Like, you put it was on a public calendar. At least, like, if you're gonna be horrible, at least be like sneaky.
No, we can't. They're dweebs. They can't handle it. They're social climber dweebs. They're all these people like didn't peak in high school or probably have a good high school experience. So now it's like their dream deferred. We're like, they're finally cool because they have money and they have to tell you all about it right now. And it's like,
yeah, exactly.
So
there's that whole thing, the money thing right now, though, I find that to be so, and you see that in so many realms where people are starting to finally figure out that whole flexing on that right now does not work. It's not relatable. It's if you're out buying like a Louis Vuitton right now, or like spending money on all this crazy stuff and whatever, we just don't have anything in common. Like, we just
going to Coachella, which, like, look, I love music just as much as the next person, but the influencers on the brand trips, I have to be like a little bit mean for a quick second on this. Okay. I have sometimes 10, 15, 20 times the followship that some of these people do that are going on these brand trips, and they are acting like they have hit Kardashian level. They're like, I'm out here with Starbies, my bestie. And I'm like, look, it is an accomplishment to be seen by a brand, especially as an influencer, and to get invited to something big and to be able to go to it. It shouldn't change you fundamentally as a person to have that opportunity. If you get that opportunity, I want to come with you. I want to see behind the scenes. I'm really excited about it. And I think there are some people doing it really well. There's this influencer, Brian the Diamond, he goes by, and I love him. He is just the sweetest. He gets invited on a lot of these trips, and he's just as tickled to be there. And he's like, I can't even believe it. Oh my God, we're backstage right now. Who do you want to see? Who should we look at? Like, he's with the audience. It makes sense.
Yeah.
But this brand flakes guy coming out and being like,
oh my God, I knew that's who you were talking about. I have so
I'm
stuck
so
in that drama.
hot. I can't. He's like putting on lotion like he doesn't have any other time in the day. And that shit just irks me. I'm like, you're corny.
And his apology, where that was what got me. Dude, I don't know if, I guess there's just a point as like a content creator where you just become completely disconnected with everything that is real life. Can you imagine? Like, imagine just me and you were sitting here, like, I've done something wrong to you. And I sit down and I'm like, well, you know what? Actually, though, me stabbing you was basically the same thing as if I got a flat tire from that knife being in the road. You know what I mean? Like, it's just something that, like, no one can really understand, And it's like, who the hell are you talking to? Like,
so we're both educated in society and psychology and whatnot. And sometimes I think because of my big age, I'm able to look at them and think, how would I have like received this as a 20-something-year-old person? And you are different in the way you receive attention young. And I was like, okay, when you are going through your decision tree of if you're going to do something or not, when you're younger, you're thinking about the potential of what could come, and you're only thinking good potential will come. If I go on this brand trip with Starbucks, I'll be in the room and in spaces with people I seek to align myself with that'll level me up, even if it costs me the audience that got me here, because I'll have hit a new plateau and a new audience, and I won't need the people who Sherpa'd me up the mountain because I'll be at the peak. And I think
it's a cost risk
assessment. You have
assessment.
to remember that when you get to the peak, you will need the Sherpa to bring you back down or to keep you up there. So when people think they're leveling up into this new celebrity culture, they're like, okay, short-term decision, the people who got me here, I don't care anymore because I'll be at this new level. And it's like, you won't. It doesn't work like that.
It's strange. Well, and that's what, like, I find, like, even you and I were just talking about this yesterday, where, like, we both have many of those moments where we look around like, oh, it's so cool.
Dude.
Like, this is so cool. What the hell?
Yeah.
And I find that but I like back to that thing of people being like, oh, I'm like a Kardashian now. I have a decent amount of followers. You have an amazing amount of followers. And I genuinely don't feel that way. I would never like walk in somewhere and be like, actually, I have 718,000 followers on TikTok.
Right? Like, who cares?
Like that
Nobody
means,
cares.
I mean, it means something, but it's not.
No,
I
if
mean,
you have to say it,
I
it's over. I
appreciate it.
think if you have to say it,
Yeah.
it's over. You've lost it.
Exactly, and
So,
I just don't
yeah.
get that, like, you used to be, like, this normal ass person, and now you're going into this whole everything over here, and especially with that guy, from what I understand,
Hmm.
he's, like, super liberal, which I am as well, and being like, "Oh,
Hmm.
no, F this," and standing up for things that should be stood up for, and then you go on a brand trip with Starbucks,
Yeah.
and that's really at the end of the day, like, he had to have known that he was gonna. I mean, I think people have been boycotting them for what, like, it's been
Long
3
time.
years?
Hmm.
Been a
Yeah.
while. And so, really, or maybe they don't even think of it because a lot of these people are somewhat young. I mean, I think he's in his early 30s, maybe late
Yeah.
20s.
Hmm.
And you don't think about it. And then when you do get yourself in a pickle, you convince yourself everyone else is wrong because
Hmm.
you're great. And how could they, it's like this whole thing. And so maybe wait till you're a little older to try to.
Yeah.
You might make this of an ass out of yourself because I can't imagine 22-year-old me on the internet. Oh my
No,
God.
I'd be awful. I'd be
No, I
awful.
would.
I'd be
Nope.
awful. No, that's why I have such sympathy for clavicular, because I would be awful. I would be totally, my mom would have to stop the stream and come and get me because I would be awful. Because when you're young,
Yeah.
that kind of validation,
You
like
just
Ashley St.
overdose.
Clair, who was on Monday, said this is exactly what happened to her. They get you young, they build you up, but they build you into
Mhm.
what they say you are, to the point that you lose total control of yourself. You have no idea what you're doing. So then you start self-medicating. And
Mhm.
then you can't keep up with that. And then when you want out, you can't
Yeah.
get out. It's like any other cult, you know?
Well, and it
So
comes with a lot of this stuff too, like, with a lot of these younger men on the internet. I mean, if you're gonna give me life advice, first of all, you're a man, so you're kinda out of
I
the
can't
running for
help
me
you.
personally. But on the other side, it's even like Dean Withers kind of falls into this. Not that I'm
Yeah,
like, I disagree with a
sometimes.
lot of what he says. Some of the stuff
Hmm.
is apt, but I don't need to be explained how to do stuff by someone who's maybe 20 years younger than me.
Hmm.
Maybe like you don't know as much as you think you did. And then if somebody had said the same things to me at 23, I would have been like, listen, you're just mad because I'm right, and moved
This
on with
was
my
my
life.
problem as a young
Yeah.
person, and why I got fired from so many jobs between 19 and
Same.
27 is because I was like, I know how to do this better than you. And I had no respect
Oh,
for the
yeah.
idea of like chain of command or like
I thought I was ready to
paying
be
dues.
management at like
Totally.
22.
Absolutely. I was like, I do it
Girl,
anyway.
no. I'm not
I
even
know
ready
how
to be
to.
management now.
No, no. And
Mm-mm.
actually, then you get the management job and you're like, shit, I should have stayed a bartender. It was so much better. Or like, why did I want responsibility? This sucks. And
I know,
that
it's
comes with age.
ridiculous.
That comes with
I
age.
know. And so that's the thing that I do think a lot of these younger people is because, I've noticed with like cancellations and when people get themselves in trouble, it's not that they really did something wrong. That's not the point that
Yeah.
they get in trouble. It's when they double down on it and they
Right.
won't listen to any feedback. Not to mention, like, again, back to that brand flex thing. Have none of these people ever had to make a real apology in their life?
Not at this level, I don't think. I think that they are people, oftentimes the ones that I see struggle with this the most are people who have maybe never been the first best friend before. They've never been the first picked for dodgeball type
Mhm.
person. And now they've got like all this immediate validation from the internet for the way that they presented themselves in one way. And they're still chasing that idea of being the popular kid, but they've got so much validation that they think like
Mhm.
it gives you like that courage of a group. But if you betray the group, then you don't have the group. And I think that's a hard
Yeah.
lesson to learn on the internet. And so sometimes I do feel bad for the kids when stuff like this happens to them, because I'm
Oh
like,
no, it's
you
crazy.
could
Well,
never
and
know until you do it, you know?
okay, so speaking of groups, this is on our agenda, but I'm probably jumping into it too
Skip to
fast.
it.
Is this whole like rape club or what the hell?
Let's talk about that.
What in the hell?
Um,
Like, oh, rape school. Excuse me.
Rape
I've
school.
watched a couple videos on it, but it's just so horrible. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, seriously. I mean, we're so far into evolution and being human beings,
Mhm.
but every minute we're set back so far. And like, I blame a lot of this. I blame the manosphere because they have really empowered a lot of these people
Mhm.
and giving them microphones. That is also a problem.
Mhm.
That is also a
Well,
problem.
for folks wondering, CNN did a story exposing the fact that there are these Telegram channels and websites on the internet in which men from around the world are gathering in something called a Z group to swap advice about how to drug and film the sexual assault of their partners, sometimes their wives, the mothers of their children, while that woman is unconscious. And this is something that in my wildest nightmares, I could have never imagined was happening, though I suppose we should have, because this comes
Oh,
on the
that is
heels
horrible.
of the Giselle Pilco case that happened in France where her husband, over a period of like
Yes.
decades, invited 70 different men to rape
I
her
was gonna say.
200 different times when she was drugged. He would
Yeah, and
like recruit
she
men to drug that and rape her in their own home.
yeah, and she herself, she has the clips I've seen of her and the way that she has encountered this, she wanted to testify. She wanted to be like such a part,
Yeah.
like the strength. Oh my God. Like,
Hmm.
because that's just, I can't even imagine. Like, I've been through that in like a singular event or in like when I was a kid, like, a few times or whatever.
Hmm.
But like for that to be something that you just see all this footage because when they bring you in, they're going to show you the stuff. She was at the trial. You're going to see all this. I can't imagine what that is like.
Well, some of the stories were really disturbing in so much as like the way that I guess they open these videos, because these are men showing off for other strangers, men they'll never meet, that the way that they open the video is with an eye check, they call it, where they like will do this to their wife's eye to show that she's really actually totally passed out before they rape her, because they started to get in a situation where I think this is a little bit of a psyop thing going on as well. Started getting a situation where other people in the chat were like, you guys are just faking. She probably isn't actually asleep. So they started doing eye check, which is just such a sickness. And one of them, one woman's husband said that he was just rife with guilt after church, mother of 5 of his children, and told her, I've been using our son's sleeping medication to put in your last cup of tea at night. Then I tie you down, take photographs, and rape you.
Girl, people be like, why have you never been on Tinder? Because if that's what someone's husband will do to them, that's insane, dude.
Imagine
But
the
like the
act of care
violation,
in
there's so
giving her
many
a cup of
levels.
tea. Yeah, care. Here's
There's
a cup
so
of
many
tea.
levels.
Hmm.
Exactly. And here's this person that sat, I mean, I'm assuming in some kind, most ceremonies have something like in front of God, in front of your family, and this
Hmm.
person that you love, and you're going to take care of them, and you're going to do all this. And then, but you know what I find with these people? Over several years, they also, too, when they start doing this, they get so much worse. And that's, I mean, that's proven they escalate. And the
Hmm.
things that they are willing to do to these people that they said they loved, it's fucking crazy. Like, who, I mean, honestly, like, and also too with people like that, so you incarcerate them, right? But I genuinely don't feel people with those kind of proclivities, whoever it's towards whatever group, I don't think they get better. I don't.
No. How could you? What do you
So
mean
what
you
do you
get better?
do with them?
You're out of your mind. Yeah, like there's no
Like,
way. And I wanted to bring up this, reminded me, this idea all comes back to Epstein for me, right? And Epstein's
mhm,
emails from 2014 and 15, he's asking about trumpet plants in his nursery. And that is a
mhm.
plant which is the natural source of scopolamine. I forget what it's called. I'm not good at reading medical
Scopolamine?
words. Scopolamine, the devil's breath or
Okay.
the zombie drug at high doses. Scopolamine is a notorious drug for inducing an extreme suggestibility state of mind and
Mhm.
total memory loss. And one email forwarded to Epstein described the drug as a substance that eliminates free will and allows the person to be guided like a child, which is a vile thing to have just said. And this is something that Epstein was doing. This is why we say, while Epstein may be dead, maybe, his legacy is not. This shit
Well, and
is
he
going on.
taught, a lot of people. We had one clip that went really popular that was saying, where are the children? And a lot of people said, oh, well, and a lot of people, pardon me for saying this, are like, oh, well, they ate them. They didn't eat all of
No,
them.
no,
Honestly, the
I don't
ones
think.
who passed away probably went through less. Like there are kids out there and he's not gone. Somebody took over for him. Those
Right.
kids are still somewhere. That's why I worry about that so much. And oh, in case anyone was wondering about an update on Zorro Ranch, absolutely nothing.
Yeah, nothing's going on out there, huh?
No, nothing's gonna go on out there. It was all I've been getting myself so worked up. It was all posturing, like it's not even a thing. But which is so upsetting. I can't believe you bring out Virginia's family and all this so you can do nothing. That's
It's
disgusting.
sick.
It's an
And it's
insult.
Democrats and Republicans. You got a Democratic governor out there too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a whole thing, but I'm glad Melanie can go up to Capitol Hill and pretend she cares about all the other Epstein victims, but the ones in her own state, well, anyway,
Well,
that was a little rant. But
yeah.
it's just it's this horrible thing, and that's what I worry about is like who took over, where are these people? Because this
Hmm.
didn't just, not to mention, so if somebody didn't take over, then realistically, if you're thinking from that mindset, you got to get rid of all these people who know everything.
Hmm.
Other than the people participating, because they have like all these people that are hiding it and Trump and all of these people, they have an incentive to hide it because they're in the files, right?
Hmm.
And so it's
Hmm.
just it makes me wonder, like, what, there's just such a web that I hope will be untangled.
I don't know, though. I mean, the Swalwell allegations have sort of reignited energy behind the
Totally.
Epstein stuff, right? Because they're like, okay, anytime something like this comes up, it's going to remind people of Epstein, and they're going to want to bring those folks back in. But I just don't know how much more we can ask of the victims. How many more
Yeah.
times can you drag those girls up to Capitol Hill to do whatever it is that we're trying to get done? And at what point are there trials for this kind of stuff? Do we really have to wait until the next administration and the new Department of Justice to do this? What about the state level charges? Why
And
isn't
then,
Kathy Hochul in New York doing a
yeah.
little bit more with the Manhattan mansion or the estate there? Is there something we could be pushing her for? Like, it's just a
And
lot.
how many more people are going to be dead by then? Let's be real. He wasn't
Right.
hanging out with spring chickens. I mean, some of them were,
Right.
but he was not the people he was actually doing business with.
Right.
Those were all very old, very rich people. They're all going to be dead by then. And
Right.
then, I mean, like so many of the people are, it's going to be like, oh God, what is his name? Jimmy Savile from
Oh,
the
yeah.
UK. They didn't hit him with anything until he was already gone because they covered up for him until he was dead. And there were like rumors and it was starting to like gain momentum, but then he died. And then they took down the streets and the monuments and all this stuff, even though there had been rumors for 40 years.
I know we're
You
seeing
know,
that with Cesar Chavez now in California, like how quickly who's moving to remove those monuments, rename them. That didn't have nearly its time in the press as
mhm.
it deserved for how just vile that whole situation was. It
Yeah,
came out
and
at the
I
same time as the
think
Iran
in
war.
Albuquerque, because oh, excuse me, I'm drinking. It's they say it's only for men, but I had it. I
It's
had it. It's a
Dr.
Dr. Pepper
Pepper.
10.
Ooh.
So, what was I gonna say? There was some. Oh my gosh, my ADHD got me because I burped.
Cesar Chavez.
Oh yeah, Albuquerque. I haven't looked. I'm gonna Google that right now. I haven't seen if Albuquerque is gonna do anything about that because, I mean, typically Albuquerque, we at least try. I think the biggest thing is we try to look progressive, even if we aren't always as much,
Hmm.
but we are more progressive than other places. I don't want to say that, but let's see if we're doing anything about that here because I haven't seen
Oh,
anything. I'm down there quite a bit.
you know what's so interesting here? Somebody says that the Epstein kidnappings link pretty
Oh,
clearly to ICE kidnappings. The Epstein ring and ICE kidnappings, very possible. I could see that some of those people being crossover people. And 10
yeah.
scientists have gone missing or died recently under weird circumstances. We have a investigative piece coming out on this on Tuesday. Jed's going to be working on it because Jed originally thought that this was kind of like a hoax, like people were saying scientists were dying, but they weren't. And then Trump had to comment on it, and now there actually is documentation. A lot of people working in military and nuclear, 10 have died just since January or gone missing.
So
And that is definitely something we need to look at.
am I the only one that has like middle-aged dad level of obsession with World War II?
No, no,
So
it's me too.
So lots of scientists went missing too from a certain country right before everything was going to get real bad.
Hmm.
And then they were like, hanging out and what was it? We were talking about it today in class,
Argentina.
Argentina. Yeah, we were just talking about that today in class. And like Mengele was so comfortable out there, he had his name on the side of a building.
And like,
And so, I
why
mean,
did
that's
we give $40
strange.
billion to Argentina? I don't
That
know.
was so strange.
That was
Exactly. And then
weird.
no, I looked it up. And so Albuquerque leaders just met 3 days ago to figure out Cesar Chavez. So yeah, we really get on it out here.
So quick out there.
3 days ago. So they're talking about it, which is, I mean, that's
It's
you know
not
what, that's
nothing.
something. That's
Mm.
something. I'm not gonna take that away from anything.
All right. Well, hopefully they get to
But
it someday.
now all this
Not
Epstein
just
stuff, I hope I hope something happens, but even I'm starting to get a little I mean, I think everyone like hope is hard right now. I think just in this whole world, hope is hard right now. Things are hard right now. And
and this
I
show's
just
not going to make it any better because we've got a lot more
I know.
horrors to tell you about.
Exactly. Guy
I
Fieri.
yes, I think that we've got to get to some sort of Epstein accountability before the Epstein limited series starring like Laura Dern or whatever comes out, because I think as soon
Oh,
as
they're
it is
doing that?
Hollywoodified, yes,
Oh, I
as
hadn't
soon
seen
as
that they were
he
doing it.
is Hollywoodified, it's over because people are going to start to forget which parts are real and which parts aren't. It's going to become more like Hollywood circus. It's going to be a lot more difficult for this to play in the courts and in true life if they
Yeah.
think that it is a crime documentary. Like, it's too soon for such a thing, honestly.
Well, and I feel like in my opinion, I don't some dramatizations, like remember right after like 9/11 happened, I mentioned 9/11, but right after that happened and they had, what was that, like Fahrenheit or something? It was a movie
Yes.
with
And people are
Nicolas
like, it's
Cage
too
and they
soon.
and they've done another movie, but it was like the same movie just by a different studio. And I've always felt I never really saw them. I felt like it was way too soon. We
Yep.
had, and then we were like inundated with that media. I heard the other day it came on my Apple Music was remember the Alan Jackson song, "Remember the Day When the World Stopped Turning," like, and I was like, or on that September day. That is the saddest freaking song, but that's everything that we were just like. It was
Yes.
all we had coming at us.
And it got people real jazzed to join the military. So once
Get her
again,
done.
some propaganda for the people. But yes, let's flip to Guy Fieri.
We love propaganda.
Dude, what in the hell is going on with you? Guy Fieri, who shook hands with Trump a couple months ago and was like all trumped up, and then is at the UFC fight. Him and his buddy meet Andrew Tate, and I believe Andrew Tate's brother, down in like the ring of, super famous people who go to see UFC. And he's shaking his hand and giving him a hug and dapping him up and all this stuff. His friend very clearly on the video says, "I love you guys. You guys are awesome."
Oh, you mean the
And
guys
Guy Fieri's
what
like,
are they wanted for right now?
yeah, massive rape and child exploitation and drugging them and trafficking and every other thing. Plus, they're not that cool. Like, take away the crime, you're ugly and untalented. Like, even if what are you doing? Like, why do you want to be associated with this person who is ugly, untalented, and fucking weird? If we're being honest, Andrew Tate's weird.
Well, no, exactly. And so
He's
in that
gremlin
documentary, there was one of those I don't want to call them tater tots because of Mama Tot. I think that's like, but they're basically like the tater tots. I feel like he would not like that moniker. There was one of them who said he's like, well, there's no way to get famous on the internet without doing these things and saying these controversial things and blah blah blah. I would beg to differ. I try to be like as even as possible. And some of those guys, I'll go and look at their pages. I have more followers than they do. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I feel like Tate falls under that too. They're just like, oh, well, if I say the most offensive thing and take advantage, because like all these young men, and like I'm not giving them any outs because you guys are silly for falling for this. If any of you ever see it, like get it together. But all these young men, they make these money, they sell these courses, and most of them aren't even living like that. I bet Andrew Tate goes home, puts on his fuzzy little pink bunny slippers and watches well, I don't want to say My Little Pony. That has connotations also.
That's anyway, he sits home and cries about his ugliness and his all the things they say that you have to be are none of the things that they are. But Guy Fieri saying he doesn't know who they are. He thinks he thought it was somebody his son followed. That doesn't help. You don't dap up somebody like that unless you really. I've met Guy Fieri. He doesn't let people get very like particularly close to him. He's actually kind of like standoffish.
Don't him and his son have some sort of like issue though? I feel like I remember seeing something about that.
He's got a couple kids. He's a very
one of them.
So one of them maybe he has a problem with, and then Hunter, he's like trying to make the heir to the Food Network empire that he's built. And it's just getting very icky. But like if you can't lie about not knowing who Andrew Tate is because you either look like wildly ignorant or like a liar. And I'm sure this conversation we're having is not going to help me get the hosting gig I was trying to get on the Food Network. But girl, we can't. We can't.
Listen,
sorry, WME, if you're watching. I can't.
If they want to go to Flavortown in an inclusive, decent way.
Yeah, I'm your guy. Yeah, we're the guy. So
I mean,
people were like, they have to cancel Guy right now. I was like, listen, let me tell you about the way that this man has wormed himself into every part of he is the Food Network. The entirety of their budget is based on his shows that he stars in or he produces. He has changed it from being a cooking and education place to being a competition place. Because as I've said on shows in the past, when you compete on a show, you don't really get paid. You might get paid if you win, but you don't get paid like the way they have to pay talent. And so it's just been completely, sort of, and that's a lot of TV has been ruined by competition and reality. He's not going to go anywhere. It's just not going to, oh my God, Bobby Flay.
Exactly.
I have the best stories about Bobby Flay. You like him?
Well, he has though, with Guy, he has like a whole empire now. We're going on a Carnival cruise here in like a month and a half, me and my kids, right? And he has a whole burger place on the cruise, and it's literally everyone's favorite spot. So he has like a whole thing.
It's a whole thing. He's got Chicken Guy too. He had that reality show about Chicken Guy. Here's the thing, like you can't be friends with bad people and still consider yourself a good person. And that's kind of where it comes down to. He's loyal to his wife. There's never been allegations of him, especially in the chef world, doing anything bad to anybody in that way. So there's that, But but you
Like
can't
the only
dap
one
up
left in
Andrew
Food
Tate.
Network.
He is. You can't dap up Andrew Tate. And a lot of the chefs won't speak out against him because this is the only path to any
It's
kind
your
of
job.
career, and it's their job. And they also sign, all kinds of indemnification stuff, and it
Well,
sucks.
I
Bobby
I just
Flay
don't get
is a
it.
jerk. Let's talk about Bobby Flay. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bobby Flay. I used to love Bobby Flay back in the day, but then do you remember that time where there was like the Jamie Oliver versus Gordon Ramsay versus Bobby Flay, all of that? So
Hmm.
I actually sided with Gordon because he seems like a really nice dad and very
Gordon
nice to his
is
wife.
a great person.
So
Hmm.
I stuck with Gordon. That was the team that I did choose. So I
Hmm.
haven't heard much about Bobby since back in the day. And Jamie Oliver, I think he's so weird.
Jamie Oliver is so weird, but he's so harmless. He's lovely. Gordon Ramsay is just above and beyond a wonderful person to work
He
for, to
seems
be
like he's
around.
actually
He
nice.
loves
Like
his
it's so
children, his
few.
wife. He really cares about the people who work for him. He makes great food. No complaints about Gordon. Bobby Flay, though. Bobby Flay is in my opinion, a raging narcissist,
The diva.
unable to, yet a super diva to the point that
Mhm.
he was
Hate that.
married to a chef back in the 90s, and she won a James Beard Award before him, and it was such a problem that they got divorced.
Good for her. Good for her. If you ever
Well,
see
now
this, you
he's
know what?
with
That
Brooke
you did the right thing.
Williamson, which I think is also icky, but
Did they have a prenup before this happened?
Oh, I don't know, because it was way back in the
Oh.
90s. She's gone on to like own her own restaurants. She's fine. And Bobby's just really struggled to like land a wife. He had the affair with Giada De Laurentiis for a while. He was with her for a while,
Yeah,
allegedly.
okay.
Now he's with Brooke Williamson. And I just like wish better for Brooke. I don't know.
You know, back in the day though, an affair with Giada would have been, but like lately, I can't remember what it is, but she said something, I think in the last year or two, that I was like, but I can't remember what it is, so maybe I'm wrong.
Beat Bobby
Watch me out
Flay.
here spreading rumors.
Oh, we're here to shit talk and speculate. I put it right
I know, I'm like,
in the name of the show. I was like shit talking and
where she said
speculating.
something, I think it was like fat shamey or something.
Oh,
She had said
probably.
something like that, which I mean, that kind of tracks. And so, and I remember just being like, God, Giada, I don't want you at home anymore. Jesus.
I know, right?
Like,
My
anyway,
roommate pointed
got
out Beat Bobby Flay is about ruining people's signature recipes and embarrassing them in front of their family. It is. That whole show was awful.
Well, and my thing about it is
Michael Simon's lovely. No problem with Michael Simon. He's a great guy.
You know, the thing with it is it's like that MTV-ification kind of effect. Why can't we have music videos and reality television all in the same day? There's so much programming, and then you wouldn't have to play like Road Rules reruns for 17 hours. Or like with Food Network. We loved Iron Chef. Me and my dad used to watch that together. Like I've been watching that since we just had, I think it was the Japanese version.
Yep.
And then now it's all like, that was a competition show, but it was super cool. And they always had these ingredients and whatever. And now you get to like, okay, you can't cook. That's fun.
Yep. David Burke was creepy with me one night a long time ago. David Burke is a creep. Also, David Burke, the only chef who would go into the Trump Hotel in Washington, D.C. when Jose Andres pulled out when Trump owned the old post office hotel, Trump International, that he put down there during his first term. David Burke was the only person who would go in there. David Burke, not my favorite. Anne Burrell was the best. Anne Burrell struggled with substances, and I really did love her, though. She was a good, fun person. You know,
so many people in that space do. It's,
of
you know,
course,
I've
yeah,
heard
it's high
that
pressure.
so many times. And you're around, you've got, that's the one thing that I always think about, especially when you're around alcohol a lot. Like it's not like if you're addicted, like the stuff I was addicted to, I had to go to like a corner and I had to find someone and I had to buy it, and I couldn't walk into Walgreens. But like with those, like with that kind of addiction, you just walk into Walgreens. Like my mom's been in recovery for like 10 years, and I'm like, damn girl, get it. Cause I mean, how do you, God, it's so hard.
It's Nigella Lawson. She's good. She's totally good. If you have any questions about other chefs, I'll let you know. I mean, I was at Beard for a long time. I can tell you all about them.
That's cool. See, that's cool. That's the thing though, is that's what I love about a chef is like, I don't want to watch a chef who clearly does not enjoy food. No, like enjoy food. If I wanted to see that recipe, I would go to my like almond stepmom's house and have her cook me dinner.
It's what people liked about Rachel Ray. She was a regular person. She totally was. Rachel Ray also has a sort of
health-wise.
She has a sort of, I've heard rumors that her relationship with her husband can be a little bit challenging. He could be a little bit strong-handed, we'll call it, because of course we can't make any allegations. And I think that's probably really hard for her. Rachel Ray's a sweetheart, angel baby.
Yeah, exactly. And she makes her recipes like I saw it. There was like this era where people were making fun of it on TikTok. And I'm like, honestly,
They
if
were
you've
great.
never been like a busy person who comes home and you just need to throw something together, you can't afford to eat out, you got
Her
3 ingredients,
garbage
she's your
bowl
girl.
changed my life. Just her being like, put a bowl here for all your trash and scraps. I was like, this is genius. This is
That's what I'm
absolutely
saying. Like
genius.
it's a good thing here. Like, what
I
are we
won't
doing?
ruin Alton Brown for you. Alton Brown's exactly what he presents himself
Oh no,
as.
I don't. I actually don't like Alton Brown anymore. I used to.
I don't
And
like,
then
he's
I
not my cup
heard
of tea, but
about
he hasn't done anything especially heinous that I know of. He's just kind
his
of an asshole.
affiliations and
Mm.
some of the stuff he says. I've gotten a little side eye recently because I've heard that he's like kind of MAGA, which I was like, that doesn't really make
Ooh,
a lot of sense. You seem
interesting.
very smart.
Hmm.
But also too there was some it's again like people will say something and I'm like, oh, I don't fuck with you anymore. And then I'll
Yeah.
forget what it was, but I still remember that I don't fuck with them. And so
Yep.
that's where I'm at with him. He said something that was like weird and conservative, and I'm so sensitive about that. I'm like,
Yeah.
we're done.
Jamie Oliver's our favorite. Jamie Oliver's outstanding. Ina Garten, outstanding.
Yeah.
Martha Stewart, such a cunt. Love her though. Like in the best way.
But
Two
Martha
times.
Stewart,
Yes, two times I met Martha Stewart. The first time I was leaving my job and I was on my BlackBerry and she was coming out of the Food Network studio and I like almost ran right into her and I was like, and she was like, it's me. And then got in her car and I was like, it was perfect. It was perfect. And then
that's what I would expect.
the next time I saw her was at an event for this group called Cherry Bomb, which if you love cooking, you should check out Cherry Bomb Radio and the Cherry Bomb magazine.
Mhm.
They're woman-led. They're incredible. Carrie Diamond, I love to death. She is just one of the best people in food. She does so much great stuff. So it's her network. So I was at one of her parties and Martha Stewart was there. And she just, you know how like if there's a celebrity at an event, everybody like kind of tries to just sort of say hi or maybe ask for a picture. She just
Yeah.
knows that everybody wants to do that. So if you catch eyes with her, she's like, and I love that. She just gets it over with. Yeah.
My thing about her that I always like, and this is just taking it way back. That was such bullshit. How is she going to go to jail for doing the exact same thing every man around her was doing? And you're going to send my girl to jail. You know, I want to see her jail cell though. You know, she was like making little paper flowers.
I've seen some of the things from her jail. She whittled a nativity scene from a block of wood. That's one of the things that she did.
I would expect nothing less. My girl is like, no, you put me on a desert island.
Yep.
And I will give you Christmas.
She was knitting and crocheting once she got access to knitting needles, which were under supervision, but she was able to do that. They did, she did arts and crafts.
Though,
she read books.
That day and comes out just.
Yeah. They were like, you know, what did you think of prison? And she's like, well, I wish to not go back, but I certainly made the most of my time. It's like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I just love about her. And I love that like Snoop Dogg in her era, but then Snoop Dogg, another one, did something stupid. So
I know he's a dummy. Carla Hall is a doll baby. Marimoto, I've never met. But yeah, there's a lot of I bet he's pretty cool. He's pretty
seems
rad.
like he'd be
I think
cool
that answers
as
your
long
questions
as
from the
like
chat.
you're cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if
you know
you're
who's
cool,
dope? Kristen Kish. Kristen Kish, the host of Top Chef, lovely, wonderful person. Ree Drummond, I've never met. She came in way after me, and she's like, I'm not somebody I would like seek out necessarily.
So me and Ree, we have a complicated relationship. So I was raised in the country, and I love her like home goods and stuff. I love them, and honestly, like a lot of people think they're like lower quality. I never had that experience, right? But then finding out her husband's like an oil conglomerate and they actually own the little town that she films in, and that they actually took a lot of their oil lands away from the indigenous people.
Nope.
Nope. As much as I loved it, I used to have actually back in the day, if you go look at my videos, my desk was like covered in a Pioneer Woman, like, so I wouldn't, you know, mess up my desk. And someone was like, oh my God. And I looked it up and I was like, oh yeah, that's going in the garbage.
Yeah, she seems mega.
But her recipes are like so good.
I know.
And like, it's so sad, but yeah, she had to go.
I know. Last chef question. I'll tell you, Marcus Samuelson, even cooler in person than you can imagine. Like, and he really does dress like that all the time. And he's just, his food is outstanding. Minit Chauhan, another one, outstanding food. Truly fantastic. Moving from reality chefs to reality TV. And I really do think that this is like a pipeline for bad folks lately. What the hell's going on American Idol? If they're not turning MAGA, they are killing their wives, apparently. This is, what's his name? Caleb Flynn. He was on American Idol back in 2013. This is him presenting himself as a youth pastor, talking about how music is like part of his connection to God and how much he loves his wife.
Flag right there.
See, there we are. And now he is on trial for killing his wife which they're alleging was because he was having an affair with one of the worship singers at their megachurch.
Does divorce not exist anymore? And I'm confused. I've done it twice back, and it was actually pretty easy. We just did our own paperwork and walked away. Like, is that not an option anymore?
Just let that lady go. Same thing with the lieutenant governor from Virginia. The former lieutenant governor of Virginia shot and killed his wife while their children were home. This is just 2 or 3 days ago. Brother, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it doesn't matter race, right? Because the governor, it's across race, it's across wealth, it's across the board. It's men doing this, either drugging and raping their wives per the motherless group, or apparently killing them while their small children are home. And I'm like, how do you get to this point of depravity?
Or Alpine divorcing them.
Or Alpine divorcing them.
Which we were talking about last week. And that's what I'm saying, though, is what like I get stuck on Chris Watts videos occasionally too, just because that son of a bitch. But what exactly is wrong with you that you would rather kill everybody and maybe try to get away with it, but you know you're not going to. You're going to jail for the rest of your life. Instead of letting them go, have your own life, that's fine. I'm going to pay my little bit or whatever and moving on with your life. Like, dude, in what psycho mind is that even an option?
I don't know, but this is what they're out there doing crazy stuff. And as I was on this like pipeline, which I think this is the screenshot I'm looking for. Is it this one? Other notable cases. Yes. This is not like a rarity amongst men on reality television. This idea of them like killing their wives. These were some other cases that I found. Is it the narcissism?
So here's what I find, and this is my opinion. I think that you have a lot of content creators and people who go on like TV, reality TV, and these sorts of things who are genuinely decent people. But I think you have a massive amount of people who are into seeing themselves. They want to be famous. God, who am I thinking of? Remember Balloon Boy? Do you remember that?
Yes.
And that kid and his dad did all that so they could get on TV. They were going to get famous. They had been on Wife Swap and all of that stuff. And he seemed like a real weirdo. Yeah. Like a lot of that. I seriously think that there's like a direct personality correlation between what makes them want to go on TV and what makes them like this. Also, it's like an extreme form of like self-centeredness, maybe narcissism. I don't know.
That makes sense because there's all of these politicians. It's the same thing, right? Where these elected officers kill their wives. And I'm like,
love
dude,
the attention. And I think that I think there's something in their lives where losing that image is the only thing that matters. And if your wife leaves, but also too, the other side of it. And I think I should not think about this deeply, but sociology, you know, on some level, they think that they're going to fucking get away with it. Like they think they're so damn smart. They're so damn smart that years of forensics and police and investigators and all this are never going to catch them. They're just going to.
Well, I'm going to go to, just in case Gnomes does come, and we think she could come at 4. She might not. That's okay. She could do whatever she needs to do.
I sent her the times and stuff, and I gave her like a little hour reminder, but they are doing, and they just got back from their PR trip like 2 days.
That's okay. We just want her to be safe. If she comes, she comes. If she doesn't, that's okay. We'll get her another time. We also are in touch with Dr. Christine from the documentary Trust Me, The False Prophet. And I didn't want to bring up any pictures. Okay, I didn't want to bring up any pictures while she was on, so I figured we would do this recap now. That way, if she gets on, we're all good.
So I actually wanted to talk about this. And is that a screenshot from Without a Crystal Ball?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so we got to talk about that. She almost blew this entire case.
Oh, no. Yes. Okay.
Yes. So Without a Crystal Ball is a problem. I actually just made a video calling her out. She almost blew this entire case. I'm so glad I get to talk about this on our show.
Please do.
So basically, Christine, after people were arrested, Christine's house was effectively running as a safe house. And Without a Crystal Ball doxed the address of that safe house and almost got Julia killed, literally.
No.
Because, so the Bateman group's not done. They're still a Bateman group.
Right.
And they were
some of the wives are still into it. Right.
Yes. And they were threatening to steal her kids and kill them and a lot of stuff like that. So I saw that writing and I was like, it's Katie Joy. Her name is Katie Joy. She's horrible.
Oh my God. Okay.
But, oh goodness. I hit my microphone. Oh no. What am I doing?
Oh no.
Of course, right when I'm going to talk about something serious, it starts wanting to misbehave. I don't like that. So basically, okay, so there's a really
Wait,
big
let me put up this
story.
better picture of this fucking loser in his stupid
Exactly.
leather jacket
Stupid
instead.
ass little jacket. You know what? Actually, what I'm really glad about is we can all join this discourse together now, because a lot of this I wasn't able to say. I saw a lot of this footage a while ago, and I went to the Baseline trial.
Yep.
And so Sam was he was raping his followers, all
Yeah.
of them.
Mm-hmm.
And the women were forced to watch. But what's important about understanding why he was, or why he said it was because he's disgusting and he's a rapist. Let's be very
Mm-hmm.
clear about that. But he called it blood atonement. Are you familiar with blood atonement in the Mormon like
No.
religion?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so blood atonement says that you have done a sin so bad. You have
Mm-hmm.
sinned so badly. The only thing that you can do is die. And
Oh,
that's the only way
okay.
that you're going to redeem yourself. But Sam twisted this and said that blood atonement was spilling your blood, which is kind of the idea of blood atonement. But with blood atonement, it's understood you're supposed to die. But he took it, well, this is going to be spilling blood. And the way that he justified that and called it that was anally raping them.
Oh
Because,
God.
yeah.
Dude.
And they left it out of the documentary. There were certain things, but those weren't the only people who were subjected to that. In his group, and even if you weren't there, you still had to watch on FaceTime. Like, no one
Right.
was, because they were interstate trafficking, so if you lived
Nebraska.
north,
Was it Nebraska, Arizona,
it
Utah,
was
something like that?
Nebraska, I want to say, Arizona,
It was definitely
Utah, and then they were caught in
Washington.
Washington at one
Spokane,
point.
Washington. Yeah.
And so no matter where you were, you weren't going to escape this experience. And he felt that that was their blood atonement for these horrible sins that they had committed. But just like Warren Jeffs, just like a lot of these guys, there was, I mean, obviously there was a sin, but the sins that he was saying was like, oh, you're trying to take one of my girls. You're going to, and I think he accused them at one point of sleeping with his wives and stuff like that, and it was really, really horrible.
The thing I find interesting about this, and I think this is back to like the male psyche being just very, very broken right now, is there was this story about, in the manosphere and in the sort of like internet spaces for incels, there's a couple different creators that are very popular. One is Destiny, one is Nick Fuentes, and Destiny is obviously like claimed to be on the left and Nick Fuentes was on the right. And there was this rumor going around for a while. And then somebody says they have a video of it where essentially they wanted to squash their beef. And so they performed oral sex on each other to show that they respected each other. And they filmed it so that they would be able to like have equal dirt on each other. And this was their leveling out. And I'm like, are you gay? Like,
Sounds
do
kinda
you just,
fucking gay.
do you hate women the way you say on the
Kinda
internet,
fucking
or do you
gay.
just want to kiss boys' weens? Because if that's
The
what it
thing
is, you
about
should
it
just do that and leave us
The thing
alone.
about it, the highest level of contrition that I've ever seen come out of a man was when he was in a room with men who he thought were better than him or had something that he wanted. And at that point, I mean, honestly, like watching, maybe a poor man or maybe middle class kind of income level is what I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
man in a room full of rich men, you'll never have respect for men again. That's pathetic. They
It's
could tell him,
gross.
hey, I'm going to whip it out right now and I'm going to slap you in the face. And he'd be like, heck yeah, here you go.
Okay. And I just
Feel
think
it.
that there's something like just deeply broken there, but it's so prevalent that there must be a root somewhere that we have to find and dig
There's
up
a
and
lot of
burn, because it's
society.
just so frequent. And I was reading that with this documentary, Trust Me, the Prophet, in fact, Sam Bateman insisted that as part of their bonding of brothers, which was a ritual that Bateman made up, Maroney had to perform oral sex on Bateman while his children and wives watched. That was the first time. That's like part of this humiliation, like I'm higher than you thing. But then a month later, Bateman sodomized Maroney to complete the submission of Bateman and bond them. And I'm like, dude.
Yes, and that was sold to his followers as his blood atonement. And that the
Come
bleeding
on.
he did because of that was effectively, oh, my charger's freaking out over here. Calm down. And what he did to them was because they had sinned so horribly. I mean, so the documentary went pretty well into this case, but I was really glad that there's a lot of details that they left out that were said in court, that are just, they tiptoed around it. Like basically the very young girls, he went
Yeah.
out of his way to make sure they didn't get pregnant. That does not mean that he was not
I see.
going after them. It just wasn't in a way that would result in pregnancy. And they talked about that. And I mean, that's the biggest impact I keep remembering from all of this, because I've spent a little bit of time here and there with everybody. And some of the girls that were testifying, this was back in 2024, were 14 years old.
Mhm.
And they had been married to Sam for 5 years.
And one
It
of
was
them was his own daughter. Apparently, he attempted to take his
he tried
own
to marry his own
daughter
daughter.
as
Yes.
a wife, offering her 2 bags of Doritos and $50 cash like it was a bribe and calling it like a dowry or something. And
And that
when
is when his ex-wife called the cops, which is
yeah,
huge. She's an FLDS woman. She actually testified at the Biceline trial as well.
okay.
And she called the cops several times. She called DCFS, I think it's DCFS out there, several times, and that was some of the hundreds of ignored calls.
Yeah. Why do you think the cops are in on it? This was my question from my wife. She was like, "V, they called the police so many times and they have that sheriff on in this particular documentary." And he's like, "I couldn't listen to it because it's too hard for a gentle heart." What the hell are you talking
You should have
about?
seen you should have seen his ass on the stand. Let me tell you, I have no love for this guy. I didn't say it in my video, but my nickname for him is Officer Fathead because, like, which I
Yeah.
never would call somebody that, but he had his like little thing and his head was just like. So basically, what they said was that they were trying to facilitate a relationship with the community. And this didn't make it in the documentary. He testified to this. They were trying to facilitate a relationship with the community. And they didn't want to rush in and do anything legal wise because the FLDS already had such a fear of the police. Then
Mm.
he also said, and he said this on the stand, what he said in the damn documentary, that it's not illegal to say that you're married to a child. Like he literally said that with his whole chest. And I've never seen in a trial, I've never seen a law enforcement officer testify for such a short time. He didn't even take a whole chunk of the morning. He was like maybe 45 minutes. And then it was on to someone else. He basically had nothing to testify to. And I do think that it stems from FLDS influence within the town.
Mhm.
They're trying to like revamp the town and rezone the town. They've sold a lot of it. Um, and I also think genuinely from the bottom of my heart, cops don't really care about these groups. They don't care about the people in them. They look at the women, and a lot of people look at those women and they think, oh, you're so stupid. Look at what you're letting
Mhm.
them do to you. You're so stupid. Just leave. What they don't realize is where are they going? Not to mention the walls are in their mind.
Right.
It's you know what I mean? And so that's where I just get really frustrated with the whole thing because they feel very much the same way that the public does. And that's why I'm so glad Dr. Christine Marie was there to help because genuinely police, at least the FBI cared, but police I've noticed really don't care about these people.
They I mean, it's clear that they don't. So many calls came in and basically they're telling
So many.
victims, "Hey, unless you have video of the rape happening, then I don't know what to tell you. And even if you do have a video, well, how do we know it's not AI?" Like,
So and what that cop basically said was if you are raping children in my town, that's okay. Because if I don't have that child who's saying something or actual video footage of it happening, I can have a recording of you saying you're doing it and I can do all this stuff. But if I don't have those other things, that's fine. You can keep doing that. What kind of message does that send to anyone moving to the area?
you're telling them how to get
You,
away with the crime.
that's what
You're
I'm saying.
telling them
And
how to get
like
away with the crime.
the thing that it's just, you know, that you're going to have a problem and you know that this has been a problem in the town before. I mean, come on, bro.
I
Like,
had found
but
this
I just
because
don't think he cared.
I had looked up, I was like, is there such a thing as this bonding of brothers? Like, and
No.
Sam Bateman just like bastardized it. And it's like, not really. You could do a sacrificial act and people might say, oh, that bonded you as brothers, like give a kidney. And then
Yeah.
missionary service and temple work. I was like, okay, there's no like, but it's not. And then I was looking up legal status of polygamy in the United States, which apparently went illegal in 1890, which was not really that long ago. But
Well, right.
Utah
Not
in
the trigger my
2020,
hyperfixation.
Utah in 2020 reduced the penalty for polygamy among consenting adults from felony to infraction, something like a traffic ticket. Doesn't that kind of like open the door for abuse to run a little more rampant?
Yes and no. Okay, so here's the thing
Okay.
about Utah. So all of this happened between Utah and Arizona. Utah never made a single arrest. No cops there did anything.
Well,
Utah was
according
not
to Cody
involved.
Brown, they were after a man. The sister
He's full of
wives were.
shit.
I
He's full
know.
of shit, and I'm going to tell you why. So, Utah does not give. I actually said this in the intro of a video this week, and I was like, they don't give a hot shit about polygamy. They make a big stink about it, but there's at least 50 active polygamous groups in Utah at this time. They do nothing about it. The Short Creek raids that Cody Brown and all of them reference,
Right.
those were done by the state of Arizona, which they willingly moved to from
Right.
Utah. They would have been safer in Utah. They did that for the show. Although I think the wives were genuinely scared because those tactics are used a lot more on the women. I
Mm-hmm.
think the men have a better idea of what's going on. But You had Tom Green, who had to get in trouble in a different state. Warren Jeffs was not arrested until he went to Texas by the FBI. Utah did not give a
Oh.
shit. It wasn't a secret. Okay, so from the rest of the United States, it was a secret you had these people out in the desert. It was not a secret in Utah. They knew they were there. They've known about it forever. And that's the thing is that they don't care about that. And the crimes within it, I've very seldom seen those enforced. And okay, so this is a little backstory and then I'll go get off this tangent. So when it comes to Cody Brown, who was so scared to just go to Utah, right? So explain to me why, when his friend Kyle Henderson, who almost killed his wife, and they were he was in court with this. Tell me why Cody was on the expert witness list and proudly walked into that courtroom several times. He was on the expert witness list for the AUB, which he was not supposed to be a part of anymore. And here's the kicker. Their attorney, Mark Shurtleff, used to be the attorney general for the entire state of Utah. And he was there defending the polygamists. Okay. He always, and during his career, he was found guilty of corruption. And he also seemed to have this weird inside track on all the polygamist groups. There's probably people up way high up in the church who are practicing polygamy. They don't care. And heavenly polygamy, even if you're vanilla LDS, you still believe in polygamy because it can happen when you're in heaven. So say you're married to one person, they die, then you marry another person.
It's a knife in the kidney.
Exactly. Cody Brown is full
of shit. Not all
shit.
Skittles and beer, okay?
He has never told the truth about a goddamn thing in his life. So just, any of that. I don't know if Gnomes is going to make it. I haven't heard from her, so.
That's okay. We're going to keep chatting. The knife in the kidney, when that happened on a Sister Wives episode, when Cody Brown starts screaming, it's like a knife in the kidney, the sacrifices I made to love you. My wife found on Etsy a change purse that says it looks like stained glass and it says the knife in the kidney.
There's this whole person
which she bought for me because she loves
and
me.
I need to figure out who it is, but there's this whole person and she makes Sister Wives art. And it's like fantastic. The most unflattering renditions of everything. Oh, speaking of Sister Wives, have you seen Janelle and Maddie's houses?
No. Is it nice?
They were doing this whole, it looked nice, but now they're having like a bunch of problems from what I'm understanding. They're like having leaks and things aren't fitting on right and like all kinds of stuff. I'm like, well, that sucks. They bought that big property, Tata Farms, which that's never.
Yes.
Respectfully, y'all are never doing that. But which is fine. We all dream. That's fine. She's also a life coach though. Don't go to life coaches. So they built these really nice houses. And I feel so bad for them. They're starting to post stuff like the builders, like I think Maddie lifted up like some kind of floor and there was like already mold and like that sucks. No. Janelle finally got her dream house without Cody running around like a little piece of poop hanging off her butt. And
she can't even have it.
She can't even have it. I'm like, God, universe, give the woman a break.
Just to bring up a little of the Sister Wives art I was able to find in just that last second. Crying Robin Brown is one of my favorite. The pink elephant in the room told me it's your birthday.
You know what? I wonder though, and this is not any, I think aging naturally is a beautiful thing. Sure. I wonder though, what kind of dynamic that's creating, because I'm just me in their relationship with Robin, not really, you can tell she's not doing anything. She's not, and in their group, Botox and fillers, it's a pretty big thing. And she's not doing anything. She doesn't really work out as much as he does, but he's over here getting little, his little chiclet teeth and his new hair and his hair plugs and all of that. And you can tell he's gotten a lot of Botox. I wonder what kind of dynamic that creates between the two of them.
Amongst them, I don't know. I am loving this. This artist has done a good job. I don't know who this is, but
no, that's the one that I'm
look at all these.
I can't remember their screen name or I'd say it. I don't remember, but yeah, they make those and they make mugs and they made a calendar. I want to say a desk calendar.
They've got some 90 Day Fiance people. They've got some Love After Lockup people. They've got just great stuff.
No, fantastic I love it. Work. It's amazing.
I can't even. I love it. Another just absurd thing. I think I'm going to bet. What is it about the Mormon men who come from these super cults that they have like a look what I could do attitude? They're very like Stuart from Mad TV. Look what I could do. It's like Cody Brown in the handstands. This guy being obsessed with marrying the Queen of England.
And jumping off the rocks, trust me.
Jumping off the rocks like crazy. Like, what is the deal with this?
So here's my thing, and just my theory with these men is that they live in a very male-focused environment. I think that's why you see more women leaving than men, other than the men who are kicked out, of course.
Right.
is because everything caters to them. When no one's like looked you in the eye and been like, wow, you actually suck, then you
Mhm.
don't really think about that. Not to mention with Sam, I think that Sam had an attitude a lot with the group is that no one ever appreciated him
Oh,
because he was
Christ.
not well liked in Short Creek. He still isn't. I went to so there's a bar in the grocery store in Short Creek. Uh and so I went and I was having a couple beers and I asked some locals about him
Yeah,
and they
one
were
thing
like,
about
"We
Dava, she's coming to your town. She's coming to your town. You're gonna find
I'm gonna
out.
see.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm gonna
gonna
see
see."
you there.
And I'm on my road trip 2 weeks this summer, so trust, some of y'all are gonna be seeing me. We might be stopping to see Jen from Fundy Friday. It's gonna be a blast.
Yeah.
Um, but with Sam, like he was not well liked. Everyone, like literally, one of the guys I was asking, whose name was Rulin, he gave me his number. I was like, okay, thanks. Cool.
Okay.
I'll
No,
text you
you
sometime if I
cannot
need you.
take men's numbers. Okay, Dava, you will end up in a cult. It's a slippery slope.
I
It's
know.
a
You know what?
slippery slope.
Honestly, though, the tattoos keep me safe in town. They can't.
That's true.
I am too much. I'm not even allowed in their houses without a like long sleeve. But they basically said, like, he literally almost verbatim said, I could not fucking believe that Sam got anyone to follow him. He is such a
Mhm.
loser. And like, because they all
He
went to school
is.
together, you know, and they have all
He's a
come up
super
together.
loser. He looks like a poorly drawn Fred Flintstone, and he's like weird.
And he's disgusting. Do you see the one thing I'm glad that they redacted the footage the way that they did? Because I've seen some of the original footage of him like kissing the girls and like grabbing
No,
them, shit
no,
like
thank
that. And
you.
it's disgusting.
No,
Like it's
thank
just
you.
that man is they put him under the jail. You know what's interesting about the case though is that the reason he oh yeah, polygamy does give you a persecution complex. That's a big thing. I think though
And
I find that very
they're saying
common
you could reduce
in
the
religious
secrecy
people.
around. Yeah, they want the secrecy because that's how they keep abusing the
Mhm.
kids. Hmm.
Well, exactly. And they, you know, and the news and stuff like that doesn't help because a lot of times it's misreported. Like recently there was this news article that there was secret tunnels under Short Creek that were built so Warren Jeffs could escape. Okay, so those tunnels have been there forever. They used to take field trips out there because there's nothing to do in Short Creek. And
Hmm.
they were like, if you get near this, the cops are going to come. So I stood out there for about an hour taking a video and nobody bothered me. I even went up to the security camera, which I don't think works, and was like,
Hmm.
"Hi, my name is History in 60, and I would really like to access this. If you could give me a call, here's my phone number, here's my email. Let me know. I would love to come back up there." Like it's not like that. It wasn't built for Warren Jeffs. It's been there forever.
Hmm.
So that doesn't help either because they can prove, oh look, they're sensationalizing everything.
Mm.
Or like I had a comment the other day that asked me, well, if they think Sam's a false prophet, why don't they think that of Warren? Warren's different.
Hmm.
Sam wasn't given the priesthood. Warren was around since they were kids. It was drilled into them that not
His
necessarily
father
that he was
was, yeah.
the next prophet, but that he was the mouthpiece for the prophet. And then that like
Hmm.
morphed into something. So Warren just, he has family history, even though honestly, the Jeffs didn't come into power until his dad.
Mm.
They'd been around, but they weren't really that big of a deal in town until some shady shit went on, basically. And one of them took over, the other one didn't, basically.
You know who should get a cult? I would join this lady's cult. This bitch is down
Julia
for
is
you.
lovely.
She's
Julia
lovely.
is lovely.
What a she keeps the dress and the hair and everything, even though she's not in the life anymore.
So so that's the thing with them is she believes in it.
Okay.
I haven't talked to her I literally haven't talked to her in 2 years. So I don't know where she is with the belief now, but a lot of ex-FLDS stay, who don't follow Warren anymore. They may not stay in the dress like this particularly because it has such like a connotation, but
Yeah.
you'll be able to tell because they'll wear like a jean skirt and they'll have this all the way down to here and they're completely covered. They wear turtlenecks and stuff like that. But a lot of the some people who have left still wear the dresses and do the hair because they genuinely believe in the religion, like the core of it, not what Sam did or what Warren did, because they do. Most of them don't believe Warren did anything. They do believe Sam did something, but most of them have decided that Uncle Warren is, a good guy. But she's in a unique position because she actually is not welcome to rejoin the FLDS. None of them are. They have been
Okay.
excommunicated, shunned, whatever you want to call it within that group. Excommunicated is not right because it's, they don't do that, but they'll kick you out basically. And so with the Sam Bateman survivors, they really wouldn't have had an option to go to the other group.
Do you think that's what's keeping some of the wives around to this day? He still has followers.
Yeah, he doesn't have a ton, but he does still have followers. They still have the Range Rovers.
What
I
was that
saw him last
about?
Short Creek. Yeah.
What do you think he had political ambitions? Do you think that he thought he could maybe take this cult into the political
Yes.
arena? He wanted to
Yes.
like be president, be married to a monarch, like that was next?
He thought he was going to govern the United States, he thought he was going to govern the Americas, broadly South America as well, and England. Yes, he did have political ambitions. But the thing about it is yeah, they just have this. I don't even know how to like. With him, I don't even know if it's confidence. I genuinely think it is like extreme mental illness.
Mm.
Like there was nothing that he saw that was really like him. He was always kissing their asses. Like you can go back. John Crowker wrote a book called I think it was Prophets Pray or Under the Banner of Heaven. It was Under the Banner of Heaven. He actually mentioned Samuel Bateman, and this was back in the early thousands. And Sam was spraying them with rocks from his truck to get him to go away.
He's so weird.
He's a
JD
dork.
Vance does this weird stuff too, where he takes like 40 cars out in his motorcade when you don't need that many people.
Did you see him talking shit to the Pope? Aren't you Catholic, bro?
Yes. First of all, he's a convert Catholic, which is very different from a cradle Catholic, as we've come to learn here.
Yeah.
He,
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe, converted to Catholicism because he thought it was a status symbol. He thought it was like Opus Dei. He thought he would maybe be on the Supreme Court. It would give him some kind of specialty edge. He's not. He does not get it at all. And I think this is my favorite thing so far is that if the apex predator that is the Catholic Church takes down Trump, that will give me like great satisfaction. But there's a lot of them trying to whitewash what he has said about the Pope, and Trump continues to double, triple, quadruple down on it. And it's just like, you're not going to break that. I think it's like with Julia, right? She believed in the religion. She did not like the actions, but she was torn between like, okay, but the prophet is saying that eventually when you break the religion, then none of the other power players get to have any sway anymore.
Exactly. Well, and that's the thing about it when it comes to like the audiences are just so vastly different. When it comes to who JD Vance is trying to talk to, you're not talking to indoctrinated people who have never been on an iPad before. You're talking to smart people, not to mention, I think that the interesting thing about everything that's going on with the Pope, he has not said anything radical.
No.
Even mildly.
No.
Like if you're killing hundreds of thousands of people, you don't get to sit here and say, thank God, because I don't believe in God, but if he does exist, he left quite a while ago.
Well, and I think that is a really good point because the Pope has a duty with his flock or whatever to say, look, I see that there's a man named Pete Hegseth who told you that this is a holy war and that may every bullet find its mark, may every arrow strike a heart, may all the listen, bitch, that's from Pulp Fiction, the movie. That's not anything I said. It's not anything I said. And he has a duty to like dispel misinformation. The more Trump's Department of War and all his little sycophant weirdos who don't know the theology talk, the more the Pope has to be like, that ain't in the book. Bro. And with the Catholics, we don't get to read the book ourselves, okay? So we wait for the man to tell us what it says.
And he might say it in Latin, so then you're screwed.
Yeah, what am I going to do? Okay, he'll tell me.
I saw a TikTok, and because I had heard about it and everything, but I saw a TikTok that was literally the overlay was the scene from Pulp Fiction, and the only thing missing were the motherfuckers. Like that's all that was missing out of there. And like, bro, that's not like real, right? Like that's like.
He's getting AI to write these speeches or something, and they're pulling.
Not to mention, it's a movie by Quentin Tarantino, and I know that they worship him, but he's kind of a shit.
I just every day, and then here's the thing. So I like have to ask my mom what she thinks about these things because sometimes I think something's like salacious gossip, and she's like, "No, that's fine," but she's really been hot about this. Yesterday, Trump pulled $11 million from Catholic Charities funding because it was going to helping unaccompanied minor children and migrant children. And they've had this partnership. So the way that people are like, well, the church shouldn't get money anyway, but yes, and here's how it works. Church is set up like a nonprofit also. They can apply for grants like any other nonprofit can't. And they could say, hey, because the government doesn't want to do all this stuff because a while back we decided that the government won't do it. The nonprofits will, and the government will fund it after they take their piece. So for 60, 70 years now, the Catholic Diocese and Catholic Charities of Miami has been basically dealing with unaccompanied minor children, whether they are their parents didn't make it from Cuba or they've come up from Venezuela, whatever the case may be. This is who takes care of them. And that's been the deal. The government says, you take care of them. Here's the money. So last night he freezes $11 million, which is basically the whole budget for children. people are going to go nuts. They're going to go nuts because the thing with Trump, this isn't the end. This is the test. This is let me test the oven and see how hot it is. Now, if I get burned, I won't do it again. But if I don't, then I'll keep doing it.
But here's my thing is that like, I keep hearing like this happened. People can freak out. Okay, come on, guys. Come on.
Freak it.
Like,
yeah,
let's deal with this. And you know who needs to freak out is the people who are parking their asses in those seats. Because I can't walk onto the House floor and be like, listen, sir, this is what we elected people to do that. And I would appreciate it if they would. Well, you know what I mean? It's so frustrating.
My senator is, of course, Chuck Schumer and Gillibrand. And me and Gillibrand have built a relationship over the last year that is very gently put together. It is a delicate lace because she's got to put up with me and I have to put up with her. And sometimes good stuff happens and sometimes she doesn't do what I ask, right? That's the rules.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So it's difficult because I want to appeal to her and be like, Sister Gillibrand, who is a devout Catholic, big time Catholic, how did you vote today to send bulldozers to Israel when the Pope said we're not doing the Holy War? Not that I think you should be giving deference to the Pope as the senator from New York, but you also shouldn't be sending bulldozers to Israel because you know that those are tools of destruction and annihilation. Those are right up there with bombs. Why do you need bulldozers? So, but I thought that this is where I'm like, is the Catholic getting to people enough or not enough yet? Or like, why are you still doing this? I
don't see my thing is I don't know what's going to get to people. I think him posting himself as AI Jesus, I think that was good. Then I sent you those pictures last night of John McNaughton.
Yes. His crazy art. So I'm wondering,
crazy.
I do think we'll see it at the ballot box, certainly. And maybe it's just, we won't see that people are doing what they're willing to do because what they're willing to do is vote. 46% of Catholics or 46% of the people who voted for Trump are Catholics or something like that. It's like a really high percent was the Catholic vote.
Arguing with the Pope, you would hope would be a kicker of some sort.
Yeah, you would think, but maybe not.
Everything though. See, that's the thing that I think.
But I'm hopeful that they don't vote for him. I'm hopeful that they're like, hey, this is a direct attack on our ability to, do anything, because it's not just even in the United States with the Pentagon not allowing us to worship on Holy Week in the chapel of the Pentagon and hold our services for our people. It was happening with Trump's buddy, Bibi Netanyahu, blocking them from the Holy City. Like, how far do you go before you really say, I am actually being persecuted the way that I always dreamed I would be?
Yeah. No, the whole thing is insane. And, honestly, I just wish that we could do a magic wand and take the persecution complex out of so many groups in this country. I am so sorry. Like, there are persecuted people and people that are, in that realm. But most of the people claiming that are not those people.
Here's the art.
No.
This is guy's art.
Oh, great. Oh, do you want to know why I know about this artist?
Yes, please tell me. But this is Trump conducting an orchestra. I believe that this is that girl who's the spokesperson. I'm bad when I don't like somebody's name. Caroline Levitt. Caroline Levitt playing harp here in his cabinet in the front. JD Vance on cello, as if he could never.
And look, that one has JFK, the one you just passed.
There's
there's JFK.
Here's Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Abraham Lincoln, I guess.
So Reagan. He has a painting that is called Wild Wild West. And it has depictions of all these old school Western guys or whatever. And the person who has that hanging on their wall is Cody Brown.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, Cody's a hardcore. So's Janelle. They're all Trumpers.
Wait, why is Janelle a Trumper?
She actually donated to RFK Jr.'s presidential campaign. She's donated several years in a row to him. So she supports something because she's an anti-vaxxer. They all are. They're
okay.
So a lot of these people in those communities are anti-vaxxers. They're really conservative. They super support Trump, which I don't understand. But yeah, Cody Brown actually has, and the version that he has on his wall cost $800.
Well, they're really weird about. Let's see if I can find it. What's it called? Wild West.
Wild West, if I remember properly.
Let's see. All right, we don't have that one. We'll have to figure it out.
Let me see if I can find it.
What a weirdo thing to do. These people are insane. Talentless people who think they're creative.
Let me see. I haven't looked it up in so long. Oh, yeah, I found it. Okay.
Is that the tree of Gondor on Jesus's chest? Maybe. What's the tree
Most
of
likely, yeah.
Gondor?
And then
Ooh.
he paints. Okay, so Google it. If you Google Wild Wild West John McNaughton, it'll come up. But I don't know if you'll see it well on my phone. But basically, it is some of. Yeah, go to images, and it should be the first. Yeah, it's
This
that
one?
first one right there.
Oh God.
And it's
Oh
racist.
boy.
It's offensive. It's
And
tone deaf.
Cody
I mean,
Brown
it is.
has this, huh?
Yeah, he has that, and he has the beaded frame version. It was when we were all making fun of them for like the art they had on their walls. And I
Yes.
found that, and I was like, okay, so if you're buying from that guy,
Yeah, you're crazy.
you're trash.
You're
So
absolute trash.
yeah, and John McNaughton, he does a lot of he's really popular in the Mormon community.
Okay. Oh, he's got,
He has a
let's
lot
see what
of
his sacred art looks like. His Christian sacred art. Okay.
yeah, he has a lot of like LDS stuff, a lot of like the Angel Moroni and Joseph Smith and stuff like that. But then he has a
Billy
lot of
Graham.
Jesus. Yeah, he has a lot of stuff that caters to like every weird religious sect you could think of.
Is this Chuck Norris? Is this Chuck Norris as Jesus?
Oh, I can't see it. It didn't bring it up on my side.
Oh no. Okay. Yeah, it's stuck on Wild Wild West. Okay.
It probably is Chuck Norris's Jesus. Oh my God, when he died, I was so I mean, if I had ever thought about it, I haven't thought about Chuck Norris since those jokes were really
Forever.
popular in the day.
Yeah.
But if I'd ever really thought about it, I probably would have figured that Chuck Norris was a conservative piece of crap. But like not conservative, but like MAGA. Because I think honestly, there is a differentiation.
Sure.
You know, these honestly.
Are they going so they're going to bring back Sister Wives again? This is how I feel about the Plath family. I'm like, how many times do I have to go to dinner with you? Aren't we done?
If Sister Wives comes back for another season, I have already committed. I will do a once a month recap because I love the people who follow me and I appreciate them to the end of
What
the
are they
earth,
going
but
to
I am
talk
so
about?
Done.
There's
There's nothing to talk about. There's nothing
There's
going
nothing
on.
left.
Like I have private relationships with some of these people. There ain't shit going on. Like
what's
in
McKelty
reality,
like? Sometimes I worry that McKelty is more Cody Brown than Christine.
I've never spoken to her
Okay.
privately, but she recently, it's like those things, you know what I mean? I guess maybe I'm a little sensitive. You don't have to do much to piss me off, but this one she had used gay as like an insult, and I really like that. You know that guy that Mary's dating? She was like, I don't know. Hopefully they're happy. He seems kind of gay to me. I don't know. And I was like,
leave Ron alone.
Why?
Ron looks great in yellow. Why? So now he's gay because Ron looks good in yellow.
You have a trans sibling, a gay sibling, and also a trans in-law, and you're using gay as an insult. Like,
and also,
so people really don't like her. And I had never really seen it. I always defend her because she's like the little black sheep that was always told to like wear more clothes. But now I'm like, no, maybe you're just kind of an asshole.
And that's why I'm like, I don't know, McKelty. I don't know if I can get down with that.
Sometimes she hits as so sympathetic, and sometimes she hits as like.
Do you think Christine and David Willie Brown stay together?
I think so. I think so. I think that they're gonna have.
I think she's sick of him.
Way too fast.
I was like, she's sick of him. She's so over it.
And honestly, I don't think if you're in, you know, she got married to Cody before. She never even kissed anyone else. She never had sex with anyone else or anything like that. She was 100% Cody all day. And her book, even, she says that she didn't have an orgasm for the first 2 years. Girl, go play the field. Get some nookie, you know, and oh gosh, well, if David's daughter's watching this, hi.
Hi.
But no,
I like your dad. I think your dad's a good guy. I think Christine is over it.
I think they're gonna make it personally, just because I don't think that she would. I mean, look how long it took her to leave Cody. And
yeah, that's true. She'll just ride it out, maybe. But she runs that man ragged, and that's why I'm like, I don't know.
You know what?
I can never stop thinking of her singing "Let Me Call You Sweetheart" at that wedding. Like every time I have to think of.
Poor thing. Oh my God.
Why did none of the 28 children and 3 other wives tell her no? She doesn't have one friend in that whole family.
I didn't like that. And that was McKelty who did that.
She don't have one friend in that whole family. McKelty was like, yeah, Ma, sing the song. That's good.
I know. You know what I would love to see, though, is what I would love to see from all of them is authenticity. Because I think we're seeing it from Mary. I think we're really seeing Mary for who she is. But I just
show about Mary.
Yeah, I don't I maybe watch a web show. Like I don't know
Mhm.
honestly if I would watch a show about any of them anymore. It's
Mhm.
been like 20 seasons and like the amount that I know about these people, dude, I would be creeped out by me. I'd be like, I actually don't want to talk to you. That's free. Oh, so when did I get married? How do you know that? Like, you know,
I can't. These
I don't,
people.
who
Well,
knows what to do with them, but I'm hoping there's not. I mean, there is another season, but I'm definitely not going to cover it the way that I have before.
I can't. What are you covering now? Like you do unexpected. Do you do the
Yes, right.
Plaths?
I do the Plaths on occasion, but honestly, they
They bore
bore me to
me.
tears. If I wanted to
Mhm.
like have, I could just go cut some people out of a block of cream cheese in my kitchen and do this, and it would be probably my story I'd come up with would be more interesting. The mom's a narcissist. Dad is calling himself Daddy Plath now because he's single.
Ew.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
swallow that vomit back down. Yeah. The
Oh,
sons are abusive, narcissistic
yes.
fuckheads.
Yep.
And the daughters are so deeply indoctrinated and
So
have been
gone.
beat down so far. They have a hard time even expressing themselves. I mean, the whole thing, it's like any other TLC show. I think filming it is deplorable.
Mhm.
Or, oh, well, unexpected, you mentioned that. The dad filed for full custody and custody of the baby,
I hope
that
they
one
get
kid's
it.
dad.
I hope he gets it.
And
I hope he
they,
gets it.
yeah,
Unexpected is so
it's
just
sick.
criminal. Criminal what's going on that show.
Well, they privated too. Things got so hardcore. They privated their TikTok this week, but then I think they opened it up yesterday. And it was Hunter making like this whole speech, but the whole time he's looking off at someone else who's telling him what to do, which is probably your mom.
He's 13 and they're like, "Oh, she could be pregnant again. Oh, we're having sex all the time." And the mom's like, "Well, I'm giving them condoms." I'm like, "Not at 13.
And she's
No,
like, I can't
buddy.
go in there and make sure they put it on. I'm like, you know what you need to do?
Why would you go? Why
And
would
I'm
you allow
sorry.
this in your house? Could
You need to
never be
separate
me.
them.
He
And I
could
get it.
never be
He can
me. I would
still
just never allow it.
Exactly. Well, and he can still be a parent equally and come pick his kid up,
Sure.
go to his mom's house. His mom can overmother the baby. The baby can
Right.
be away from her. But that's one thing that we talked about, file custody paperwork. People don't play this game that they're playing that you see on TV.
I know. Cream
Don't do it.
cheese puppets would be more entertaining than reality TV. I
Oh my
agree.
God, I know.
I agree, man.
Well, and the Plaths, they're just so fucking boring. I honestly,
I
honest to
know.
God, I cover them here and there, but Mrs. Kickstand, another creator on here, is the reason I know most about it because I can't make it through the series. Can't
It's
do
a
it.
labor. It's a labor. So I'm trying to think of like what show. There was a couple shows that I liked that they like only did one season of. Polygamous Family, I'm glad they're not doing any more of because that was another
Oh,
crime waiting to happen. That was not going to go well. I
crime's
just
already committed.
I'm very poly family. I was like, I was very interested in like if they were going to land because I think sometimes you want to watch the show and see if the person who you think is not being treated fairly
Mhm.
like figures it out and lands, and then you want to root for them. But that never happened, and then they just dropped
Sure.
like the rest of the episodes, and we're like, okay, goodbye. I
Well, and I
do
was
like the 90
excited.
Dayers. What
No, I was saying I was excited when Polyfamily got announced because I was like, if they do this right, because
it
there
could be
are a lot of
great.
polyfamilies out there that could use some really good representation. Because I'm
Yeah,
not poly, but I'm super pro. I have a few friends that
yeah.
are in
Do what you
polyamorous
want.
situations.
Sure.
Amazing, healthy. They've got kids together.
Hmm.
Um, and if they could have shown that, but what they did was they made they reinforced stigma about it, in my
Hmm.
opinion, which is
They did.
unfortunate.
I like the 90 days because I am just here for the punishment, honestly. Like I'm just in it
Yeah.
so far with them that now I need to be in it. But then I heard that Natalie, who has been with Gino this season, is actually an actress that they've put in to try and like keep the storyline going along. And
I
she's
wouldn't
not
doubt it.
actually, and I was like, okay, that tracks because I can't make sense of this. But some of them are
Yeah.
just so dumb that I'm like, I don't know about this. But I'm interested in like Forrest and Sheen. I'm interested in, I hope they get out from underneath his mother who follows me. Hi, Molly, if you're watching. But I do I
Molly, if
not?
you're
Do I
watching, leave your child alone and let him have a life.
leave him alone? I don't like that she
Or I'll
says
make a
all the
video about you.
time, "You're autistic, you can't do anything." I'm like, "He's very functional. He can what do you mean he can't do anything? Of course he could do stuff." I don't think
As
she
a
wants to
mom
lose the
of
disability.
as a mom of a person with autism, they are
Yeah,
capable of a lot. So
yeah.
if
I
you
was
tell them
like,
they're not, that might hold back some things, but
they
maybe we
keep
shouldn't be.
telling him this, and I'm like, the things that I find that are maybe, a little different about Forrest are mostly due to his lack of socialization because she kept him from making friends. When he's with just Sheena, he's perfectly fine.
Here, so are you super busy after this?
No. What do we got?
Gnomes just texted me and just basically said she hasn't heard back from her publicity rep, but she's
Okay.
thinking about just hopping on anyway. So let's chat for a minute more
Does she,
until.
yeah, if she wants, also she could come on and we could not talk about the show. We could just ask her what she's up to, how she's feeling today, if she
Yeah.
wants to just
Well, see,
kiki.
okay, so actually, I got to do the most interesting thing, and that's when I got to spend some time. So I went out 4 or 5 months ago and did a social media training kind of thing with some
Mhm.
survivors from the Bateman group. So I was really excited to see her. She's like employing that and making a lot of videos now and stuff like that. And I saw one of her videos she posted, I think day before yesterday. She got
Oh, she's here.
1.6 million views. Oh,
Guys,
there
she's
you are.
here. Oh my gosh. Gnomes, what's going on, bestie? How are you?
Hey, how are you?
I don't know.
You're live right now, so everybody can kind of see you and stuff. But and if your since your Netflix rep didn't get back, if you do get in trouble, just tell them I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, we're
here's the
sorry.
thing.
Oh,
We don't even have to talk about the show. Honestly, I'm just interested in like how your weekend's been going, what you're up to, how you're feeling. Like, tell us about you now.
Yeah.
Lately I've been very overwhelmed with
Mm,
relief. I didn't expect this outcome from the show.
yeah.
I don't know, it's amazing, but also scary.
Yeah.
I'm still at a place where I'm like, do I trust it?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know when
That's
we had talked kind of privately about it, you had said the same thing as you were worried, and you and Christine were worried that when the show actually came out, that people would take you, the wrong way or not see it kind of as what happened. Has this been a little calming?
yeah. But even then, the show only showed about, I would dare say, 10% of what happened.
Mm,
But
Mhm.
it's a lot of behind things that happened that weren't shown.
mm.
Are there any you want to like talk about or that you want to share or like not to put you on the spot or
Well,
anything?
there's a lot of I think it clearly shows how trauma bonded, as well as how coerced and brainwashed we were, but there was a
Mhm.
lot of threats on our lives as well.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mhm.
And then it didn't even go into the whole uh, blood atonements that he
Mm.
started talking about. And I think if it would have went on longer, there would have been murders. If
Wow.
Yes.
I can't thank Christine and Toga and even the feds enough for
Mhm.
coming and stopping it.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's what before you got here, I was talking to V about the blood atonement because that was a question a lot of people had is because some court documents have come out that are basically talking about the blood atonement and stuff, and I already knew about that from like going to the trial and hearing from you guys and
Yeah.
stuff. And so people are kind of shocked by that, and I was trying to kind of explain it to V, but like the way Sam twisted it, it's hard like against the actual like doctrine of blood atonement, if you can call it that, as to what he kind of like turned it into.
It's the only doctrine I knew of back then.
Mm, mhm.
Was the version. I mean, was there a different version?
Mm.
So there is, but it's like an old school, and there's only one recorded incident of it, but they would have them dig their own grave, and then they would kill them over the grave. And
They,
yeah, so if dying was the only way they could atone.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying, though. You think he would have eventually reached that level of control,
yeah,
and
he was
yeah.
already threatening even some of us. He
Mm.
had me get a life insurance policy that was 1.5 million.
I knew
Wow.
about
And
that.
if I were to die, he would have collected that.
Yeah. Horrific.
And subconsciously, consciously, I didn't think about it. It was everything started hitting when I was actually locked up. Like, oh my God, my life was at risk.
Mhm.
And if I had done anything disobedient, and he would tell me, one day, if you aren't perfectly obedient, then you will be crawling to me begging for me to take your life.
Oh, gnomes.
It was,
Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
yeah.
So scary. When you did go to prison, I'm sure not a super fun day, but while you were in there, did you find other women were sort of helpful to you in finding your own voice, or was it more through the art?
I actually sang a lot in there.
Sang a
as
lot.
And I did make friends, but
You
how
make
do I
friends
say
while
this?
you're in.
I don't know if they're friends because you don't know anything about their
Right.
background.
They're there for the
And
stay. They're there for the stay. Yep.
yeah, so um, I would say I adapted,
Mm-hmm.
and by the time I was getting released and I knew I was going to be released, I was very terrified because I knew I wasn't going back to the FLDS.
Right.
Yeah.
And here I am going out to the world. I had become content in prison. I was
Mm-hmm.
safe there. I was taken care of. And sure, I wasn't happy. I wasn't free, but I was content.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I heard I was going to be released, it was something I both longed for and was terrified of.
Mm-hmm. That
Because,
makes so much sense.
yeah, I remember feeling like I'm going to have to learn to relive a life. I'm going to have to learn to survive a whole nother life that I know nothing about.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, I got really close to Christine
Mm-hmm.
and Toga, and they've helped me navigate
Mm-hmm.
this life.
Yeah, there's some really good people, you know, and we were
They-
I think we were talking. You told me a story about when you got to prison, how you started kind of fitting in and how you kind of like got your brain around the situation. Are you comfortable telling a little bit about that? Like when you got there, how surprising it was and how you kind of started to fit in?
um, the best way to explain it is if you've ever seen the movie Divergent.
Mhm.
You've seen it, okay. The way Tris adapts to Dauntless from
Mm-hmm.
abnegation. That's what it kind of like, that's a very mild way to put it because it was a lot worse.
Yeah.
But there was even a time where my nickname was the Stiff in prison. But remind me again, like the story, because there's so many.
You told me that there was like a girl there, I want to say, who was like, no, come over here and I'm going to show you how we're going to do this or something to that effect. It was like 10 o'clock at night. We were at Christine's house sitting at the table. And you said that you had someone who actually like brought you in. It was like, okay, so don't do that.
Don't be.
Well, I had a lot of that.
Yeah.
A lot of that. I wish I remembered the
But the thing
name.
was,
I would like be
I
able to
was
like set you on that particular memory.
Mm-hmm.
surprisingly, I didn't really talk a lot in there.
Yeah.
I would go weeks without saying anything, even though I had hundreds of other inmates around me. I just was very quiet. And I learned fast that talking will just get you hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I was hurt very much. Like 2 weeks in, then I was beat up. And it was from some of the articles of the news that were actually inaccurate at the time. And it was kind of funny because after I went to medical and psych for like 6 weeks, then when I healed, they put me right back in
In the same
the
pod?
same place. But the same girls that had beat me up, then they came to me and they were like, yeah, you're a gangster. For you to have the audacity to come back.
I'm pretty
They were
sure
like,
that's the conversation
we're gonna
we
be
had.
friends now. It was
Yeah.
so messed up. And all of a sudden they were part of like
Yeah. They're like, you're
Monty's
tough.
friend stuff. It was crazy. I'd never seen that. It's
You've
like
lived many lives. Yeah. So when you got out, what were some of the things that you are finding just like whimsy and joy in since being out and being in this new life? Because it's sort of like being born anew, but you're, in your 20s now. You're getting a total new life, but you're older.
It does feel that way. I tell a lot of people when I'm unfamiliar with something and I'm like, who's that, or what's that, and they're explaining it to me, then they're like, how do you not know what this is? Because I've not really talked about my past with my new friends that I've made,
Right.
and now they know. But there's been times where I did have to like hint, be like, I was raised under a rock. I
Yeah,
Literally
because you don't know,
I didn't even know who Elvis Presley was.
right? Because you didn't know the pop culture stuff. So did they get you
Really?
caught up on like Britney Spears? Have you gotten to the boy band era yet? Are we into Sabrina Carpenter yet? Where are we at in the music?
Oh yes, I've caught up a lot with music because music is something I'm very passionate about,
Mhm.
and I sing a lot. I have a vocal teacher
Oh,
that I'm
great.
going to, and hopefully then I can start releasing my own songs very soon here.
Yes.
I
Who's your
have a few.
favorite music right now? Who are you listening to
What's that?
now? Who are you listening to now?
Oh, it really depends on my mood.
Okay.
If I'm angry, it's something like Vampire by Olivia Rodrigo, or I Choose Violence by Jax.
Yes.
You know, that's a perfect one, and no one would blame you
Yeah,
for
that's a
choosing
good one.
violence that many
I
times.
Choose Violence. You know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that song. And then there's times where I feel like sad and the loss, and I will listen to songs about there's a one that's called Anatomy by Mackenzie, I think
Mhm.
Kenzie or something like that, and it just talks about how it's just anatomy, but my parents don't know me at all.
Mhm.
And then I'll listen to things about forgiving my younger self, and she, I mean, also she went through so much for me to be here now, songs like that. It just really depends on my mood. Then
Mm.
I've also listened to love songs and stuff, and just got in a relationship. So
Really?
Congrats. That's
What's he
great.
like? Do we
What's he
like
like?
him, or is he like
See,
taking a short creek
these are
guy?
your two aunties, right? Because I'm like, oh my God, love. And Dave was like, what's he like? What's he like?
I'm gonna be there in a month. I'll check it out.
Mhm.
really bad.
All right, we might be losing connection, but
Oh, there we go.
there we go. You're good.
I still can't hear.
Oh, okay. It might be that we're losing connection, but
Oh, hopefully not.
can you hear us now? Nope. Do you want to leave and come back on the link? It might make it work again. Okay, she'll come back on the link.
Isn't she such a sweetheart?
She is a sweetheart. She is, yeah, she's like, I'm just so happy for her. I'm happy that she's getting a new life. And I love that our reactions were very who we are. You're like, who is this man? And I'm like, yay. I should be more
I've been
discerning.
hit on a couple times in Short Creek, and
Mm-hmm. All right,
this guy
she's
literally.
back.
Oh,
So
sweet.
we'll
Yeah.
see if we got her. All right, you might be back. Is it working? Nope.
No.
Just gonna try to. Nope. It sounds like there's a little bit of a garbliness. Well,
Yeah.
let's see if she fixes it. It might be.
I think it might be. I can hear me okay.
I think it might be the service issue. Yeah, you might be in a place where you're running out of service. Yeah.
Yeah. That's so weird. I wonder why it's not doing its thing.
I don't know. I wish it would click on. We can have her on anytime. We're here every Friday. You can come back anytime you like.
Yeah.
Do you want to text her?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Text her and let her know.
Go live on Sunday also, just like kind of the two
Great.
of us.
Yeah, just text her and let her know she can come back any other time, and she'll be on with Dava on Sunday. So where are you going to be streaming that, on TikTok?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So on TikTok, we'll be live. Dava will be live, and she will be able to talk to her then. I'm glad that we got to chat with her just a little bit. I always worry that like folks are trying to like really accommodate when they might not be ready. So let's see. We'll try one more time. Is it working now?
Let's see if we got it.
No.
Got you?
No, it's not working.
It's still not letting us work.
I know.
I'm
it's
sorry,
okay.
Gnomes. Look at your text. I text you.
All right, I'm going to take her out of the studio so that while she's trying to figure it out, we can figure it out. But what a sweet gal. Sweet gal. I don't know if she would ever consider this, but I know a lot of people heal if they change their name. I don't know if that's something that she would ever consider. It's been something that was super helpful to me. I changed my name after a major horrible event, and I think it like allowed me to kind of.
Why are we the same person?
I know, because it's how it works. You go by a certain name or nickname even, and then when you are done with that version, and that version can't go on anymore, but you have to go on,
No,
you need a new
exactly,
name.
exactly.
And so I don't know if she's ever considered that, but that might be helpful in her journey, you know, to go
Well,
by a different name.
well, I used to do cosplay. We've talked about this a couple times, but yeah, when I did all my cosplay, I did it under my real name, which is Dava Renee. And I was Dava Renee cosplay for years and years and years. But when I started doing TikTok, I wanted something that was a little bit more intellectual and not based on me showing people my boobs. So I went ahead and stopped using my real name. I actually just started using my real name and let people know what it was probably about 2 or 3 years ago. I did this for about 2 or 3 years. Nobody knew my name.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I think sometimes, like, whatever you've carried, if you've carried with you a certain thing and then you can't carry it anymore, but you have to keep living, sometimes just changing your name can be really incredibly helpful, you know?
Oh, it so is. And especially if you're just trying to also to like the only other like person who has um
Oh, they're
oh,
saying have her disconnect the Bluetooth and that would fix it.
let's see. There we go.
All right, we're trying again. If you
Disconnect
disconnect from your car, and that should help.
Are you connected to your car?
Connected to your car, to my car.
Yeah.
Yeah, turn off your Bluetooth. See if that helps.
In your settings. I'm going to put her down here while she figures that out. Yeah.
Poor thing.
I know. She's so sweet. She keeps trying to. She's one of the most resilient people. She'll keep trying.
I know. She's doing good. Let's see. No.
It's just garbly. Yeah. Unfortunately, like the sound, for whatever reason, it's not working.
Let's do it next Friday, and then we'll play with your sound before we get on.
There we go.
Does that sound good? Oh, she's frozen.
All right. I'm going to bring her down here so that it doesn't keep freezing on her, and then just text her and let her know we'll do it next week. Yeah. And talk to her about maybe considering a name change. Has she ever considered a different name for herself, you know?
Well, the thing with it is that so Gnomes is like kind of a name change because her name's actually Naomi. And then I saw on her social media she changed it to Nomzia. I'm not going to say it right, but Nomzia. So I think that's something she's going to be.
She's figuring it out, yeah. Because it's the right move.
I'm
it's what we do
so
when we have to go on. Yeah.
Well, they were really worried. Like I had mentioned, they were really worried that this wasn't going to be taken well and that she was going to be seen as an accomplice and not a victim. And I'm so glad that people didn't take that route. And I've seen very few negative comments about anyone. I've seen a couple, but just stupid shit that you would usually expect to see from like I'm pretty woke, you know what I mean?
Somebody's going to say something stupid about everybody, though.
People take it a little too far. Oh, I saw this comment that was like, Dr. Christine Marie doesn't need to be running in and saving everybody and blah, 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 blah. Well, if she hadn't done anything, no one was going to.
Yes, she does actually need to go in and save everybody. Yeah.
I saw this situation when it was still fucking active. It was crazy. Like
talk to me about this since we have time to kiki, because now it's Friday. So y'all are stuck with us for as long as we feel like chatting. How'd you get involved with them years before these documentaries even came out? Like, what was going on there?
Okay, so Christine Marie was in a documentary called Keep Sweet, and she was also on Sister Wives. So you got to go back to season 6, Sister Wives on the Ropes, I think is what it's called, or something like that.
Okay.
But so they did this panel together where they talked to each other, and that was the first time I saw Christine Marie, and I absolutely fell in love with her. And then a new documentary came out, and back then it was new. It came out in 2015 or 2016, something like that. And it was called Keep Sweet. And so I watched that, and they really did a big behind the scenes kind of thing on Christine Marie. And I just found her work to be so amazing that I messaged her and asked her if there was anything I could do to help, if I could make a video, or if she wanted to hop on a live and we could talk about our charity. And she invited me out to Short Creek.
And you were like, okay, yes.
And it was actually really interesting though, because she's very protective of these people. So
of course, as she should be. Yeah.
No, she's amazing. So I go to Short Creek. We've been talking for a few months back and forth, you know, and she'd been asking me about certain things, and she asked me a lot about like my points of view. She watched a lot of my videos and stuff like that because she doesn't
she don't want like looky-loos in. Yeah. This is her in the green on Sister Wives on the episode. Yes,
that is her over on the far right. And then so you've got the Sister Wives, of course. And then I forget his name, the boy that's on their side, but Colleen is the one in the pink shirt. And she is a survivor. Colleen survived, the Kingston group. She's her father was Daniel David Kingston. The young man, I forgot his name. I'm sorry, you know, anyone who remembers. And then the one next to him, that is Kristen Decker. And she is actually someone who speaks with vocab all the time. I do not like that woman.
Okay.
But she came from the AUB. She's actually Christine from Sister Wives' aunt.
Oh, okay.
So I know way too much about these people, just so you know. And then of course there's
Wow.
Christine. And I was pretty much just obsessed with her career. I can definitely consider her a mentor and a friend now. And she invited me out, but she invited me to meet her at a coffee shop. And so we went and had coffee, and we had about an hour-long conversation where I was vetted, just basically like, how do you think about this? Do you align with these people? Which was without a crystal ball. Also, that's how much trouble this woman is. And when she heard that, she took me around town. She introduced me to a lot of people who were still actively FLDS. She introduced me to Norma and to Esther. And then I just started going out there every summer, and sometimes twice a year. And every time I'm in town, she just takes me around and kind of shows me everything. And then also, it's kind of like an exchange, because I make videos about a lot of the stuff that she tells me, and it has
Yeah.
helped a lot. And like, I have a
Mhm.
video I'm posting tomorrow morning of her and I talking about the charity and all that stuff. But basically, I just kind of reached out and asked how I could help, and here we are, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Her work is fantastic. Just her ability to navigate these situations and know that the initial reaction from the women that she's helping is going to be rage and hate, and be like, I know. And to be able to hold that space and allow that to happen and know that it's going to turn out okay. That's a lot. That's a lot.
She's really, really good at that. That's the one thing about Christine is that like, sometimes like she's so nice. Like, before all of this blew up and everything, we were sitting in her kitchen one day, and I was calling the FBI or the police. I was calling them I was calling him everything but a child of Jesus. I'll tell you that much. And even then she was kind. She was like, I'm sure that there's a reason, and we don't, yes, it was frustrating, but she's just so kind. She's genuinely just this amazingly kind person.
We love to see it. You got to find the helpers in the darkness for sure. And Dr.
gosh.
Christine is certainly one of them. She might come on sometime. We'll have her maybe come on and chat with us.
I will ask her. She
Yeah,
is
see if she wants to
actually
come
on
on.
her way soon. She's going to Norway because she's getting her first grandbaby. So
Yay. Well, that would be
Yeah.
really nice. That'll
that's
be
why I'm
joy
not
that
going
she
out 'cause I
deserves.
graduate next month, and then so I'll be out there the
Yes.
week of May 20th, kind of in that area, and we're gonna do some stuff. And I will ask her if she will come on, because she probably will.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, I think we're going to do this for a while. So we'll always have stuff to talk about.
love this. This is so much fun, and we get to talk so much shit. I love it.
It's like therapy, literally. So we, as you guys know, we are trying to like figure out what the shows are, and it's been like dress rehearsal time. I figure by like May 1st, we'll be like ready. Now we have the mics and the sets and
You look really
everything.
good and sound good today. So
We
that's
look good and
it's
sound good
smart.
today. We're ready. So I'm like, okay, by May 1st, we'll have our segments down. So I listed them all out, and this is the description for the show. We're calling it Parasocial. Parasocial, a weekly show where, much like our moms in the 90s, Dava and V sit around and gossip about the reality TV stars and true crime cases that we've developed a parasocial relationship with. Featuring interviews with the subjects of documentary film, reality TV, and even true crime, this is our time to talk shit and speculate before heading into a weekend of bed rotting and binge watching.
Yeah.
I would buy that.
You know how accurate that is? I'm literally, as soon as we're done here, like I already have my hair up, I got my sweater on. Like I'm going to play. Well, right now I'm playing Last of Us 2, but
yeah, you got a
good
good game.
Auto 6.
My wife is like, got dinner ready. Everything's good. Tell Gnomes thank you so much for coming on. She really, Gnomes just meant so much to my wife when we were watching the show, and just to see that arc was incredible. Oh, she
apologized. She said, I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on. I told her, I was like, next week, don't even worry about it.
Don't even worry. And I can't believe she made it today. What a great effort. I'm so happy with that. That is like perfect effort.
And then for me, tell your wife, I said, thank you for making you dinner, and give her the biggest hug. And tell her
I will. We're going to go binge Vanderpump Villa. Okay. That's my shit show. Okay.
Oh my God. I love Lisa Vanderpump, but girl, you need to work on your wine prices in Vegas. Your wine is beautiful, but I can't pay $70.
The Pink restaurant that I went to in Vegas was outstanding, and the little deviled eggs were so good, and her little cheese, everything about it's beautiful. Lisa Vanderpump, very worth the price, but homie, bring it just down just a little bit, okay?
I just need the wine down. Leave the food up. That's fine.
$15, $16 glass of wine in Las Vegas. You know what? I'm having an experience. I'll have one. I'll enjoy.
So good though.
I can't do a $27 glass wine though.
I know. I went to the gift shop, and I wanted to buy a bottle so bad, and I just couldn't part with it. I couldn't. But oh my God, it's so good.
Yes,
her wine is good.
She is good. I think they were quail eggs actually. They were little tiny. They were little cutie babies. Let's see if we can get that'll be our goal. Our North Star is Lisa Vanderpump on the show. Can we do it? I feel like if I have a North Star, I will achieve.
I've always felt like I would really annoy Lisa Vanderpump on like a lot of levels. I
You
feel
know what?
like
It'd have to be in person. We'd have to do it in person. It
I'd have
couldn't
to wear
just be
long sleeves.
alive. Yeah. No, you can show your toe. I'm all tattooed all over the place. She has to
I
get to
know.
know. Yeah, we're not auditioning for the show. We
Yeah,
just
she's
want to talk to
probably
her.
cool.
I do want to
My
pet her
first
dog. I feel like I'd
my
want to
first
pet
thing
the
though,
dog.
I'd be like, oh God, what was the dog? Mr.
Gigi.
Oh yeah, what was it? Gigi? The one that they put and said he was sexy all the time and he had little suits. That'd be like the
Yes.
first thing I'd bring up. I'd be like, I'm so sorry your dog died, and then that would set the tone for the whole thing. And
Yeah, we would be totally weird, but that's why she should do it, for the
fine.
authenticity, for the joy. It'd be a great time. So we're gonna binge that.
I'm
So
into
next
it.
week we'll talk about Vanderpump and the whole Vanderpumpian of it. We can get Ariana, no, Adriana Maddox.
I was gonna say, Ariana, what are you doing here?
Ariana, what are you doing here? Adriana Maddox, I met on the Glad Red Carpet, and we have her number, so we can get her on sometime. She wants to come on the show sometime and talk about Love Island. That comes out mid-May. So maybe we'll switch to like lighter TV shows like Vanderpump and Love
Yeah.
Island for the summer.
Well, and there's supposed to be a Heidi Fleiss documentary coming up, and I'm actually supposed to meet
Girl.
her, this summer. And everybody
Yes.
always asks how I meet all these people. You know what you do? You send them a message and ask if they'll talk
write
to you.
back.
A lot of times they say yes.
Lauren P., who used to work for Playboy, is coming on not next Thursday, but the one after. She'll be here.
Cool.
Holly Madison, we could get. Tell us who you want us to get.
Oh yeah, she's my muchie.
Yes, Holly Madison's very on the TikTok. She would come.
Yeah, she's
So
my
tell us who you
mutual,
want us
and
to
she's
get.
lovely. Oh,
Oh my
I'm
God,
mutuals
Heidi
with JWoww
Fleiss.
too.
JWoww, that would be a good one.
Yeah, I'm mutuals with JWoww.
Snooki, I would Snooki all day. I just the 90s, 2000s
That was
shows are where it's at.
Yeah, no,
Christy
every time
Carlson
JWoww
Romano.
comments-
We could get
Oh, I
Kim
like that.
Possible here. She's a great one. She grew up in my
Okay.
town. We talk a lot.
Isn't it funny though with certain one of them? Like I'm with JWoww. Whenever she comments on my post, I'm like, what world am I?
What
living
am
in?
I in? How did this happen? How did this happen? Or like when I met Ariana Maddox, and I wasn't really totally sure who she was because I hadn't watched the Vanderpump show, and I didn't know about her and Tom Sandoval and everything else. I just knew her as the host of Love Island. And so she's like, oh my God, I watch your show every day. I was like, do you? Like, what?
Same, but not same. What?
Same, but
No,
you're a
what
celebrity,
too?
and don't watch. I don't know. It's always weird to me when people tell me they watch the show. I know that they do. I know it's popular,
No,
but I always feel
you know
like,
what the one
really?
that always, you know what the one that always takes me is like, you're my comfort watch while I'm going to bed, and I'm like,
Yes.
I just can't imagine, like, because I know I have those, and don't you
Yes.
think of it like in those like material terms? I know the ones that like I watch.
Yes.
Lately, it's propaganda videos. Let's be real.
Yes.
But to think someone's doing that to your voice, that's
It's
just
so
such an
nice.
interesting, like, thank
Yes.
you.
Or I'll be in a store and I'll look like this, and then I'll talk to, like when I talked to Natalie today, we were in a shop today, and the lady was like, V? And I was like, you knew my voice.
I never know what to say though, and I always feel like I'm rude, but I'm not. Like, I'm like, oh my God, and I follow
I'm
everyone that I
genuinely
meet,
surprised every time.
and I give him hugs and all that stuff. But then I'm like, I will nitpick that interaction for like
Forever.
a week after. So if you've ever met me in person, I'm sorry if it wasn't perfect. I wanted it to be.
Just know I think of you. I think of you all the time, and I think, man, I wish I had a sticker on me. Should I send them merch? I don't know. Go out of my way.
Like I follow them, so now we're mutuals, which is
Yep.
cool. Like, because I'm really excited about that. But like, other than that, like, what do I do? I love you so much, and I appreciate
I'm
you.
so
Like,
grateful. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm always like genuinely still surprised. So then the reaction, I hope they know the reaction is like genuine gratefulness and surprise, and not like, because I don't know what my face looks like. I probably look like,
yeah, exactly. Well, but like, okay, speaking of though, and this will be the last thing before we get off here. Speaking of, appreciating people that follow you and stuff like that. Did you see the whole Chapel Roan thing was bullshit?
no, what went on? What was that
The
about?
dad of the little girl posted saying that they found out that security was not affiliated with Chapel Roan. And he said in his post, I made a post out of emotion. I should have checked it out first. And I'm like, bro, you caused her a lot of really bad PR, because
People got to leave her alone.
Yeah, like I think maybe everyone should just chill and let Chapel Roan do her thing. She just got really famous. I mean, being famous for like 2 years isn't really very much time.
No, leave
Like,
her
she just
alone.
needs to-
And you know what? If she doesn't want to talk to people because she gets uncomfortable, then oh well, leave her alone. Just leave her
Exactly,
alone.
it's okay.
She gives you lots of music. She gives you lots of outfits. Leave her alone.
We don't deserve anyone's time. Like, yes, well then don't be famous. And like I do kind of feel like when I think about Kurt Cobain, like if you hate being famous so much, then stop making music. But on the other side of it, just because someone's famous doesn't mean we get to violate them and violate their personal space. They're still
Right.
people.
Leave them alone. Let her be. Let her go watch her reality
I
TV
know.
with
I
us.
could when I saw that, I was
I have
like,
her mom's phone number.
"Shit."
Should we text her? Should we text Mrs. Roan and ask if Chapel will come on the show?
Girl, so sorry.
I
So
have her mom's
sorry.
number because we were at a dinner together. I was talking about like how difficult it must be to be the parent of somebody who is going through this
Oh my
like
God, I can
becoming
imagine.
famous thing. And she was like, oh my God, it's crazy. I was like, would you come on the show and talk about it? And she's like, fuck yeah. It was nuts. It was nuts what you have to do for your child to be famous now. Like 17, pulling her out of school. The dad has to move to LA to try and be with her to go on auditions. The record label totally fucked her over. It was like a crazy thing.
Well, and people are looking them up and making like whole thing pieces about them.
About her
and how-
brother and everybody. And the brother's
Yeah.
like, look, man, I just work like a job. I work a job. The mom is like a veterinarian. Like they're like, that's why when people say she comes from a rich family, she really doesn't. I met them. They're probably like
They
the
have
wealthiest
money,
people
but
in your
not-
town. They have money. They're not rich, if that makes sense. Like she probably, wore Adidas and Nike branded sneakers, but I don't think she was like wearing Louis Vuitton to school.
Yeah.
It wasn't like that, like they're normal people wealthy for a small
And
town.
realistically, when it comes to like things, I don't think, especially in today's day and age, you can really like judge people necessarily by their family. Because what you come from is not what
It's not who you are. Yeah.
And you would never, if you saw my backwoods ass racist roof,
You'd be
some of
like,
my
what the
family
hell?
members, I don't think it would be fair to say that my character maybe my character is related to them in the way that I am the way I am because I never wanted to be like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so that's one thing. Like if you did this whole background on my family and even like my surviving brother and stuff, like we don't believe a lot of the same things. It's mostly low contact, if not no contact. It's kind of one of those things like my great grandma, like, yeah, she's my great grandma, but she's 99 years old and she hates everybody. So I haven't seen her in 2 years. It's not really my business.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get some fun celebrity guests for y'all. Thanks for being here with us. This is like the most fun part of the week. Be good. We'll have Gnomes back. And I'm so proud of her. She went so far out of her way to just give us the time that she had today. And I'm just grateful. It was absolutely perfect. And we've got, the next big celeb I have coming up. You might have to drop in on Monday. Monday, May 4th, I have Ryder Strong.
Okay, I'm going to have to pop in. You're going
to have to pop in. Ryder Strong, Sean T. Hunter. He's got.
Well, you know what I was going to say? Who else? And it's we should get Mary on here from Sister
Mary
Wives.
would be great.
So down.
Yep.
And this is a little bit of a sub one that I was texting you about earlier. Jen from Fundy Fridays is super down to come on. Her and I are just doing like a private phone call to catch up on Sunday. But yeah, Jen she's pretty big in the Fundy YouTube space. So yeah, Jen might be coming on. We were just talking today, so that'll be really fun too.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, cool. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right, bye. You guys have a good week.